Good morning and welcome to the Clean Sheet Keep Talking podcast. We're very excited today to have somebody that we've tailored for ages to try and get on, which is Gavin Hardie. So Gavin, people know you as Gavin Hardie, Plymouth West Devon former secretary now. They know you as a referee. The reason why we've asked you to come in today is to actually go back through a few years and actually find out the real Gavin Hardie. Because I think personally, some people don't know him. They know Gav first and foremost, the footballing man. They don't know the family man. They don't know what you do for work. So it's your chance, and maybe pick some things right in this podcast on what people have said in the past.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me. First of all, do appreciate it. A bit overall valuable, but well, just look, I've been in football for years. Always been in football. It's all I've always been involved in. I had a few years out, obviously when I had my children. But yeah, so to be honest, I mean, my personal life, I worked for Royal Mail for many years. I used to work in this building actually when I first started out. Funny enough, this used to be Jaeger. When I first started as a YTS, youth training scheme back then it was called, in the 80s when I left school. And worked there for 7 years. This place unfortunately shut, redundant, and moved on. Did a bit of travelling for a year. Went to Tenerife, worked over in Tenerife for 6 months, played football over them. In a local island league it was. Nothing like our leagues in Plymouth and around the country, but it was a funny old league because used to play in the morning because it was so hot over there. The games used to be in the morning or late at night. So, and it was always on. There was no grass. It was all on really, it was like on hard surfaces, not 3Gs back then. It was quite good though. We used to have an island team, and obviously I worked over there. So I went over there in the intention of sort of having an holiday in. Because I had redundancy money and I've stayed there for a while. They used to call it Tenerife. That's what the island was like. So yeah, back then it was. So I stayed there and I played football there. It was quite good, some good players.
So what did you do over there for work?
Cool. What did I do? I first started out, I had leaflets out to people at bars, those people trying to get me ahead. So I was a lot younger then, so it was all about enjoyment, life, and life on that. Then I was I was doing deck chairs, putting them out, I was putting them out in the morning, and for people, and then in the evenings put them back in. So really, you had a whole day of doing nothing because somebody used to take the money. I never used to do the money; I used to put them all out. It was artwork, right? And then I did do a bit of glass collecting. I worked behind a bar, but you got to be careful those days because you had to have a sort of a workers pass, so you couldn't really do any bar work because the police were right on it. I must have lived in 7 or 8 different places in Tenerife, moving around, cheap places and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I was at Jaeger, so I was 23. Yeah, 23.
I already asked what you've done over there. So imagine Gavin Hardie become 80 to 30s rep. There's whistle and stuff like that. Shut everyone into bars.
There was a lot of workers over there from all over the place. That's when we started playing football. It was father-side first, and then they said, there's a little league. And it was obviously Spanish residents over there used to have there was a lot of foreign people living over there as well, like Romanians and, the people that go around selling the watches and stuff. So they used to have a team. It was quite good. I mean, there was referees and everything. It was a small league. We had a good side on, Some of the boys I was playing with were good, the boys from Leeds and Liverpool. I still keep in contact with a couple of the lads. I think from one boy from Stafford that I used to know. Well, he's in Telford actually, and he was brilliant.
So would this been about the time of the football that we've had the pleasure of seeing in?
No, that was, so I'll come home.
WhatsApp group.
I'll come home. I came back up to England. I was there for about 6 months. Came back to England, thought it's time to come home now because it's relentless Tenerife. It's I loved it, but I went back with her on holidays to see because I met a lot of friends over there, people that own bars and stuff. And come back home, obviously, and I got a job then at Calumet, and I just come back all life and playing football and stuff, and just going on long holidays with the boys and come back. As soon as I come back, I started playing football again. As soon as I was coming home, we're signing on straight away. I was playing football then. Right the way through.
Who did you sign for? Who did you?
Back then, I come right back, and I went to from there from Tenerife. I went to I think it was Sutra in possibly all the old boys like used to play. But before then, I used to I started at DGM, and when you were playing DGM back then, I noticed nowadays a lot of the youngsters, young lads, young boys, they hop clubs, don't they? Yeah. Back then, you signed for a DGM side, you stayed throughout, you know. You know, so I was roaming young lads who's played down there, then asked to do the rest of the playing fields.
I don't know about you, Ben, but I know when I started DJing the football at 9, I stayed in one club right through to 18.
Yeah, I know I was a journeyman kid. I was SB, and then I remember it was brutal. You know when they used to do the finals at Home Park?
Yeah.
So we actually went into the season with 15. It was back when you could use 3 subs. We went into the season with 15 players. And he won't mind me saying this, but Neil Kinsman was on our team.
Yeah.
But he was a year below, so we couldn't use him until he turned 9. So we had to wait. So rather than waiting for him, they took an extra player on. So then we basically finished the season with 1 extra player. So every week, it was one of us would have to be left in the squad. And then when it comes to being in the final at Home Park, the way they did it was they put a name at the hat.
How was yours?
Oh, yeah, I remember, brutal. But so went there, I got to lift the trophy and that, but it was like I didn't get to play. So then I moved, went to Tameside, Barton, St. Jude's, Trophy Man.
You say Tameside, is that when you play with Hargreaves and stuff like that?
I'm older than Hargreaves. Yeah, I'm a couple of years older than them. No, my age was, so I joined Tameside, we had Sonny Parsons.
Yeah.
He was a player. Bradley Allen, Martin Finneran, Lewis Russell. Yeah, good that team.
No, I was just asking because you said the DGM now is. I had this vision when I got my girls together. That's the way I started. Now I'm taking all the way through, and you look now, and I think I've got about 8 left from where I started.
It wasn't like that.
But this is a question for you: which one that do you feel as the kids wanted to move on? Right, because back in the day it was you want to play with your mates. But do you think nowadays in local football and children's football, it's more the parents who have more to say about where they play and what their children do?
That's a good question, actually. But look, I just want to go back to what Ben was saying about the 3 subs. When I was playing DJ, it was 1 sub.
Yeah.
That was it, 1 sub.
Yeah.
That was all you had.
Was that 1 sub also in the what we call the Premier League?
Yeah.
Used to have
I remember when Argo got that semi-final against Watford, they had 1 sub.
Yeah, mental.
Cam, I think it was. He played in that semi. He was in that semi-final. I think it was, but he only had 1 sub. But yeah, that's a good question. I mean, look, peer pressure, parent pressure. My parents didn't really. They weren't. I mean, my brother wasn't a footballer. My 2 older brothers, they didn't play football, so it was unusual because I was the youngest. So going to Astor playing fields when I was like 10, 11. Was like going to another part of the world, because when you're that old, you don't know where that is in Plymouth. I was born and raised in Keele. I just knew Keele, you know. So it's really, in a way, I should have played. Well, I played for them because I think the guy on our street, Mike, I think it was, he used to run the thing. I'm not playing the level up as well sometimes. But so when you were going away to other games, it was like, we'll be going to daylight, you know. The parents used to take you, but there was no pressure on you. It was different then, Tom.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah, the difference is now because I perceived with what Keele was born and raised in Keele. The reason why I played for Keele because it was up at the top of the hills, down the bottom of the North Down Corridors. There's a football team there, and you could walk to it. So I probably said in the last podcast with Ben, I kind of brought myself up.
Yeah.
And when it comes to football, it's a fact of having parents take me to away games.
It's funny because when I was at school, I went to Ford Secretary, which isn't there anymore. Now it's Lidl's and all that, and on Wolseley Road. But when I went to school, there was 2 people in that school that played football. Really, that were any, and I knew that those 2 people were going to carry on with football when they finished. When they finished school, and we both did. And that was me and Jason Spear, who played for. He was a good player, Jason. It was City Social. Good size place I managed it, years ago. So it was only us 2 really that carried on with our football because we never had a school team. We never had a school team. We used to play. So at school, we used to finish school at whatever it was, 3 o'clock or 3:15, and then we used to play football in the playground for an hour with your Farahs on and your shoes and everything, and rip you, get on concrete, and then like once a week, because our schools were all like cricket as well and stuff, so we used to do that. But I don't think Chase actually played DGM.
No.
But I knew that he was a good player. Like, I knew that he was going to be a good player. Don't need me to say names and stuff, but he was a good player, and he went on and played a good level of football. And we were the only two. So and then obviously through the years we knew each other from. We kept.
Well, I think we can all look back in teams that we played in and pick one individual player you think that could have played higher or played against.
Yeah.
Or teams that you've coached or managed.
Well, I'm going to bring up. He's a relative of yours, I think, Ovis Lee Davies, who I was at primary school with him, but he was a year below. And he used to play in our school, because we had a primary school team, and he played in the primary school team for the year of, because he was so good. He was a brilliant player. And when he left school, he went part-time, didn't he? He played for Cheltenham. So he played semi-professional football. Then we were back in the old conference league, or whatever it's called then. And he was an amazing player, but he had to have a job as well. Mm-hmm. And I know that he was living in Cheltenham. I think he was Cheltenham, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. And I think he was labouring or something. But he came home, and then he went to work for Wrigley's. And I went to work for Wrigley's. I was temporary sort of thing while I was waiting to get into a new job. I was waiting to go another job that I did with the council. And he was worked at Wrigley's. He's still at Wrigley's now, isn't he? Ovis. Yeah, and he played for all the teams. And the Wrigley's teams back then were brilliant. They had Terry Hall and Sean Taylor. So they were brilliant. Gareth Fanglin, they were a fantastic side. Sundays, and back then as well, Sundays, you had all the factories. You had Murata, you had out Estover. They had their own pitch. You had Tecalamet, they had their own pitch. You had Wrigley's had their own pitch. You had Bordens, they had their own pitch. They've still got pitches out there. Yeah. So all these factories have got pitches, but obviously they're not. But they're not probably making pitches now. They're probably made into like outdoor places to go and have a cigarette or whatever at break time.
So it's part of the actual.
Part of the factory.
Yeah.
Okay. And our Murata, and then Paddy Cotton, another good player from past, manager as well. He used to run the Murata side of it, and so I mean when I first. So I'll tell you later on how I got into managing, because I got into managing quite young, really. But going back to the old football back then, when I was playing, it was different to nowadays because there was no social media, there was no mobile phones. Communication was completely different. It was like, I mean, back then as well, I think it went up to 2 subs. So it was like, see you tomorrow morning.
Obviously, I was asking you about this the other day, and I said, like, how did you sort it out? Because I have a nightmare. Like, I'm on the WhatsApp, to always tie up some out last speak, and it's like nobody's replied, and you're worried about people not showing up, people not replying, and then I thought back in the day, it's like you ring on the house phone and say, "Game Sunday, see you there."
Saturdays was different because Saturdays were in the afternoon, so it was a lot easier back then.
Yeah.
And a lot of games, like, it was like there were always 2:30 kickoffs. Right, so I know that they do now 2 o'clock kickoffs because of the weather. Yeah. But back then it used to always be 2:30, no matter what, So it was easy to get to a game. Sunday mornings was different. I remember, honestly, listen, I'm not just exaggerating. I used to go play football on a Saturday afternoon, get changed, no shower, get changed, my Saturday night stuff, go out with a beer, drink for a pint, stay out, right? Still with all your, do your hair, whatever shit, and go out, and then Sunday morning go home, obviously 2 o'clock then. There's no like 4 or 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I don't know how they do it now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Because on back then, if you played the Saturday team, unless you were playing good standard, you played for the same lads on a Sunday.
Yeah.
It was the way it was, And some of my mates are all Lipson lads, and we used to. It was you used to like just either get a lift or turn up or drive, Back then it was, and wake up the next morning at 9 o'clock and go to the game. And it was honestly, I don't remember people letting you down then. It was unlike that they were going to turn up. It was
same conversation with Endicott. John. I've been trying for ages. He wants to be in there. I want to get the next guest on, so I think some of the stories he'll tell me is absolutely brilliant for people watching and listening. But he said, it's just a law. He said he'll go play for Launceston, for example.
Yeah.
And he said, and he'd go out on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
He said he'll be at some states. He said, but it was just a fact of, I've got to get out for football. And he said you'd have. He said Sunday league. He said Saturday was down as your proper football, and Sunday was less tied up, but just play football half cut.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll fast forward on a little bit. When I started managing, I was only 24.
Yeah.
Player manager. So in a way, I'll probably say that managing probably ruined my football. Yeah. In a way. But look. So I played DGM. I was always good indoors football. 5-a-side. I mean, we used to play. I remember a bunch of our lads, mates, we used to always play on a Thursday over Sohash. It was an indoor place we used to play over there. And it used to be, I used to get the ball and that was it. There used to be the 2 balls, one for me. And one for him. But you know, I was quite fit then. You know, I used to go gym and stuff. I was a fit lad. You know, I was. And then I started, and I was obviously playing. I never really played a massive standard. I never had I don't know, I just didn't really, it wasn't for me. Like,
Get up and go.
yeah, I did, but the problem with me is I found that there.
Yeah.
And for me, it was social. Sundays, you used to play your football in the morning, quickly go home, get a shower, you're out all day. And the pubs used to shut then at 2:30. So you used to go out for like 12:30, 1 o'clock till 2:30. Then you used to try and find somewhere you can have a beer. And then go back out in the afternoon. Back then, Sky wasn't on so much with football. It's hardly any. So it was just basically down to Morgan and drinking, and then obviously go home at 10:10, 11 o'clock, heroes and down there and whatever. Go home at 12:30 and then work all week.
So you stay
And 5-a-side all week as well, like Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I think there was every day in the week was football. Something. Because the old Harper's is now, they used to be called the Plymouth Sports Club. And they used to have a league up there, so used to play up there. I used to play Saturday evenings in Civil.
So yeah.
Civil Saturday league. And I looked up Terry Hall, used to, Gav, you play for us tonight? We were called the Hornets. And I was saying, oh yeah, I'll play for you, Terry. But that was 8:30 kick on. It's like, but I used to go and play, and then obviously, you know, and then play the next morning. So communication, you didn't need it so much then. But I want to tell you about how so when I started managing, I got involved because, well, look, my first ever team I ever played for as a man, I played for a team called Royal Clarence, which is the pub up at Albert Road now. It's called Pheasant Plucker Office.
Yeah.
We used to play for them. And oh man, I'll never forget the first ever men's game I played on Staddy. And I'm telling you, back then the leagues were huge. You know, they were massive. And I mean, sometimes you used to have 2 games on, one at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, and then you used to have a 3 o'clock or 2 kick off. And Stanscombe was a completely different place then. And we used to we had a team where some of the boys before the game used to win the Clarence, they were having a few points before the game. You know, but still playing football and you know. And then we moved on, and we got a Sunday team together, CAPD, and that was the start of it, really. We had a cracking side. And I sort of took on the man that was player manager because I was that way about me. And I always remember communication. I'll never forget, I used to, when my parents' house, we had a phone on the wall in the kitchen, right by the TV, right? My mum and dad's like sitting in the kitchen, and I used to have to get the phone and take it outside, phone everyone on. You there tomorrow? Yeah. All right, see you tomorrow. You there tomorrow? Yeah, see you tomorrow. Yeah, see you about 8 tonight as well. Go down. Yeah, of course we are. I'll see you later on. I'll just communicate about football first. Yeah, all right, yeah. And that was it. You know, I used to have to do all the, Gavin, how long are you going to be? Come on. I used to say, here's £1 for the phone calls, Mum. You know? And because back then you used to only collect the pound subs anyway, it was like £1.
Yeah.
You know, so the communicate, everyone you never used to, unless you got injured, and then it was like, I can't play anymore, you know, because, you know, I'm injured. So it was different.
You've got a similar style now, Gavin, a little bit, don't you? Because I was like, with the group, I know we got a group chat for the tech, but it's like, there's no, this is the game, I remember trying to look the other day, and I was like, I don't know who we're playing. I like it. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, there's a game tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can you be there? Yes or no? I'm like, yeah, happy days. There's no worrying about it.
I know. Luke Bishop says, "Oh, put on the group chat." I said, "No, Luke, that's not my style.
Yeah.
It's not my style. I'll do it my way." I said, "No, that's not my style. I don't want to do that. I want to do it my way. I'll do it my way. I like to text everybody privately. Then they know that they're involved in the squad. I never say you're playing. I've always be there, and that's the way I've done it. I've always done it that way." Because I know people say, "Oh, put it on the group chat." You put it on the group chat, are you available? You get like 20 people say yeah. Then you've actually, at least I can then say, "Look, mate, not this week." Because it's
I like it. I like the way you do it, Gav, because there's no sort of like questioning. You know, if you got 20 available and you've only picked your 16, and there's 4 that've been left out, and they're sort of everyone's a question, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then it's sort of obvious. Whereas I like it. It's like we're all there. When our only time of Sunday, we don't know who was available. We don't know who's injured or whatever. We just know that's the squad we've got to play with.
Yeah.
And I like it. But I was like, yesterday, after the game Wednesday, I was like, because obviously I said that I'll sign all out paranoid, like very much starting and all that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play Wednesday. The next day, he was like, "Oh, we'll do the squad." I was like, "Oh, what if I'm in it for Sunday?" Like, I thought I was going to my dad. I was like, "I've got to be in that squad too last night." And then the text come through. I was like, "Yeah, I'm in the squad." I'm buzzing. Like being 20 again.
Yeah. I mean, no, you're right. I know people's got. I can't get my head around the new ways of it. You know, it's like I am quite old fashioned, and it's just the way I've always done things. You get that communication early doors, and people know what's going on, and I mean, I've been there where you stood on the, were they two? I used to have people sat in the car park, looking at their car, he's looking at that. Dan O'Connor was one of them that used to play for me. He used to sit in the car park at West Park when I was managing at West Park, and what they called Headways. Oh, sorry, Jeer. He used to sit in the car, him and Glenn in the car, like, idiot lad, I'm there. Where are you? About half an hour. Like, kick off half an hour. And then they get in the car, and you did the other way.
I'll go back to the 2. Right. So 2 things. We just talk about them. Now I realise I'm still waiting for a text.
What, for
Sunday? Oh,
We'll cut this one out.
Yeah.
But no,
But the other one, Gav, right? You said about that, just going back. But I think the players that you manage, you can manage them differently. You can have a different relationship with them. Like, for example, you said about that you rang me the day time, I'll be a goalkeeper. Right. I said, "No, I'm bringing Ben now. I'm getting him going now because he thinks he ain't got a keeper." Then me and Ben's waiting there for you to drive back to banging your steering wheel because he's done me over. He's here. Yeah. But there's different personalities. Do you think?
Yeah.
Different personalities in every team. Me and Ben had the conversation before about SB. There's different players, how you manage them differently. Yeah. So,
I know I'm quite good with people. I've always been that sort of way. I have, and I know how to deal with it. I know by just looking at someone if they're not happy, and their persona. But I'll always say that if you've got a problem, don't do it in front of people because it's unprofessional. Do it afterwards, and we'll have a little chat about it then. I mean, you can't. It's bloody hard. It is hard football. I mean, it's hard to keep. I mean, I know Ben probably knows. Sometimes you think, "Oh, look how many players I've got this week. What am I going to do?" And it's sort of saying you've got to be ruthless, but you're playing grassroots football. You're playing grassroots football. I do like the new system now, the roll-on, roll-off subs. I've got one there because it's something that I thought, I'm getting involved in that again. I've got one there, when I was thinking about coming back and managing again, it'd only be for certain things, I would come back and get involved again. Because I was asked by a couple of clubs if I wanted to be involved. I'm going to name those clubs. A couple of Sundays, you probably know both of them.
Well, let's say 5 years ago. We'll go back. We'll flip back in a minute, but let's just say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when you actually come onto the committee and you started running things, and you said one of the things you said to me is, within 10 years, we'll have a side together.
Yeah,
and you said that, and I think personally what happened is, I think you at the time you said, I think you've had this conversation before. Is it Headways that come to an end? Do you feel that was the case? You ran Headways and think that's it.
Well, No, it didn't really. What it was with Edways is that I'm going to mix my word around about it. We did two sides. We did a first and a second as well, and that was probably the end of the first team, really, because I had a good nucleus side. We did well. We did 3 years. we were always the unlucky man again. We got beaten 3 finals. You know, as always up for the final. I'm sure we get finals, but you know, we played finals. We did well, and then we got a second team, and that side was a good side as well. And you get a divide. You get a divide where you think you're going to get. Can you play for it? I'll play for that. I'll play for this team.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's different because obviously some of the players you've got are not on the same. How can I say? They're not in that. I'm not going to call it cliques. They're not in that.
Yeah.
So they went on. They won the Devon Cup, which was great. I was there for it, and my life changed as well.
Yeah.
I went through a marriage breakup, and I just wanted to go stop. Really, yeah, I had a breakup, and I thought, but I was still. But by then, I was already league secretary, which was hard work. You know, being a league secretary and running a team.
So I'm going to go on to the league secretary in a minute. Let's just go back to when you said about when you were playing and managing,
Right?
because what you said about making the phone call, going out, etc. So going out every say Saturday after a game, was that the norm?
Every Saturday.
That's all I asked because we had that conversation in our last podcast.
Yeah.
So I did.
About people going out.
Yeah.
You don't really see many teams go out and they sit together nowadays.
Yeah.
It's game's done, let's go home. But drinking culture, say back then, but that's where me and Ben said before, is the fact of, say, 20 years ago, if someone had an alcohol problem, you wouldn't know it, would you? Because everyone.
No.
So let's just touch on that, obviously, regarding the clean sheet and the mental well-being and the mental health and stuff. So when you were playing football, do you ever think anyone would able to see a problem in somebody because you're all out with a drink?
No, because I mean, probably I had a problem, really, to be honest, back then. Not that I knew about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say I went, oh, I've got to have a drink, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I drank.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, and the thing is, when I used to drink, I used to play better the next day. and I used to get up in the mornings with like that, fresh as the day, quick shower after football. So yeah, you're right. I mean, everyone I knew, it was. I mean, look, there was one Saturday. I can't remember what year it was. There was one Saturday I didn't go out. Christmas Day. Because it was a Saturday. And that's the truth, right? That's the truth. I went out every Saturday night. Every Friday and Saturday out.
Did it affect your personal life?
Football. It ruined it. Because I probably had about a 3 year where I was a good, decent player.
Yeah.
And then when I started managing, I was crap then. I wasn't good enough, you know, and I didn't put I got in. I used to train a lot as well. I used to go to the gym quite a lot. I mean, believe it or not, but I used to get into, you know, people like, oh yeah, don't eat that. But
We've seen that.
I wasn't.
Jesus.
And I got addicted to it, and it took over from football really. So I used to manage football, and then I used to obviously drop myself because it was the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to then just carry on playing. I think, to be honest, my best football, like getting back into it, was during the lockdown when everyone wanted to play again, and we used to do 5-a-sides, and I used to get back in. I started playing with Browners and all that lot, and enjoying it again. But I've got quite a few little injuries as well, my knees and stuff, and that's really why I got back into the refereeing, because I wanted to keep that fitness level up. I don't go to the gym. I go to the gym now and I just go for a sauna.
I say that it's every time race me, it's actual sauna.
I think probably in a way, I mean, it's why you're going in there for, to everybody, like, you know, they're going in. But I know why they're going in there, because they got to get that fix. And I used to love it, like, you know. But you're right, drinking, you probably wouldn't have seen it. You know, I mean, like I said, I know people that would probably, I'm not talking going out with them on a Saturday and Sunday, they probably drunk over that weekend 20-30 pints.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and I'm not just saying that it was heavier back then.
Yeah.
People used to, because obviously there was a time restriction as well, don't forget.
Yeah.
Some of these pubs used to shut at 2 o'clock, 2:30, last orders, and open again at 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you had that thought, well, what should we do, lads?
Yeah.
There used to be some places you could go snooker clubs and stuff, you could have a few beers or a goal or something. I know it's not it's the culture. It was different. The football wasn't on the TV so much, so you did other things. You used to go down to Barbie, and you know, it was different.
Was it? Would you like so? If now we're saying my team now, if our team was out every single weekend, I imagine a few of the lads they would be going through divorces and stuff like that. Back then, was it just part of the culture? Like basically the lads they would just do it and then their partners would accept it, or was it have a knock on effect?
No, most of the boys in our teams we were all single, and then people obviously got married.
Yeah,
so it was different. So no, I wouldn't say. No, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, things changed over the years. I mean, pubs started opening later, all day, and then it got do you know what I mean? It was different then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You go, and as you get older, you mature. You know, I mean, I'll go back to when I was working in Tenerife. I only worked there to go out.
Yeah.
So you're paying
to
wage
enjoy
to get in.
It was a great life over there. I mean,
Yeah.
and you used to be fit because you used to have to do a lot of walking because people that live there used to have to. They used to live in the sticks really in accommodation because you couldn't get any hotels because everyone was booked up and stuff. So you used to have to work in, live outside of Tenerife. I used to live in a place called Los Cristianos, which is right next to Las Americas, just down the road, and right in the sticks, got robbed twice. That's how bad it was over there. You couldn't your possessions where if you have money, you keep it on you all the time.
It's not. I heard the story.
Well, I had a friend who run a bar over there. He passed away actually a few years ago. I used to use his safe. I just put all my stuff in his safe because I got robbed a couple of times. You don't know who's doing it. I mean, it could be people that you knew.
Yeah.
It was like you just have to be on your toes.
So you said about the drinking culture and obviously how football's changed. Do you feel that we used to have, say, 10 leagues on a Saturday and 10 leagues on a Sunday within local football. Do you feel that we lost a lot of teams when the social clubs stopped closing down? So a lot of them used to be attached to a social club.
This is what I wanted to talk to you about. And what have you? Because you've obviously been involved from when it was like 2 leagues, stand up foam and everything like that. And now it's like it's there's a lot less people playing. What do you think the reasons are as we've gone through the last 30 years?
Technology.
Yeah.
More younger people now with the games, online stuff, games, other things you can do. When I was younger, it was football. That was it.
Yeah.
That was you played football or you didn't. So it was football really, and I think it's honestly now it's very small now football really from what it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say, the leagues back then, it was such the standard was so good. Yeah, so many good players. I mean, some of the teams that I've managed, we were running in lower leagues, to start with, and you played at the top. You played the Premier team in the cup. This is going to be a good tough. Now it's like Division 3 sides could beat Premier sides.
Yeah,
Division 2 sides could beat them. So it's like they come on their day, any given day. So pre-seasons were different back then. You could get pre-season. I remember they used to put the post up, councils put the post up 2 or 3 weeks before the season started, so you could have loads of free. Now it's so hard to play any football because you've got to book all these. I mean, the council pubs, the council pitches are so few and far between now. There's not hardly any of them, which is so destroying.
Just to be said about that, as I was looking the other day, I was having a conversation. I said, you have to say 2 years ago, the amount of teams that we use in the council pitches compared to what we've got this season. It's because people are now going out there and finding their own private pitches because they can't deal with the issues that you have with pre-season friendlies. You can't have a pre-season schedule, or they're looking to travel, say, 90 miles away to get a game.
Yeah.
And then when they do travel all that way, they've got people dropping out because they don't want to travel. So do you feel that's a factor?
Well, look, I think I've noticed it as well over the last year or so being a referee that DGM is growing, right? And adult football's dying.
Do you know what I think one of the main things that I've been thinking about this for a while is the shift in culturally how the relationships are with the man
Yeah.
and woman, and how, maybe 30, 40 years ago, you'd have the man in the relationship who'd be like, I'm doing this is what I'm doing, I'm going out playing football, playing 2 times a weekend, I'm going to play 5 side every night. That's the way it is, because that's the way it used to be culturally. Whereas now, it's, I'll try and sign a player on Saturday, but oh, God, the missus because I don't play Sunday, which is fine because, there's that level of respect in a relationship. But I think that's one of the main reasons what it's come down to. There's a lot more people now in their relationship with their partners going, is this right for both of us, rather than is this just right for me as the man of the relationship? Do you think that might have a part to play?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I never used to think about anything else but I'm playing football.
Yeah,
That
exactly. Yeah.
was it,
Yeah.
I did have a, like I said, I had a few years off when I started my family. I went to university as well. I went to March Jones, got a degree, so I got a degree as well. I worked as well, worked part time, and that's how really. And then I finished my degree. I went to Royal Bank.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to run that down because that's been my life.
What's the degree, Gav?
So, well, yeah, no, I don't brag about it. I don't need to tell people about me because what's the point? It don't matter. I know what I've done. So I did a degree at Mar Jones, BA. I got BA honours, 2, level 2, part 2-2. They call it Desmond. And yeah, so it's sports science. It was around the time. So what it was, I worked for many years, and then the council. I got fed up, and I thought to myself, look, I really want to do something different. And I did an access course to higher education. I was like 29 at the time, believe it or not, and I did an access course down in Lipson. And when I was at school, I used to muck around a lot. I used to always want to be in with the lads, the top boys, like want to be in with the art and that sort of thing, like Gav, the laugh, So I did muck around at school, but I always had a bit of a brain, So I did an access course, and that access course was amazing. It really was. It just really you did your whole schooling in 1 year.
Yeah.
Again, and I learned how to write properly, be more punctual in my writing. Then I've become quite good at it, And I wasn't planning on going to university, and then obviously they get you into uni because they help you all the way. And I managed to get in Mar Jones, and I did at the time it was a BA honours degree, and it was in sports science, coaching, and I had to do a major minor, and my minor was history, so I was I just loved history. And my dad used to me and my dad used to used to talk about history all the time, the wars and stuff, the Second World War, the First World War. Really interested in that, and so I did the degree, and sports science and coaching was awful. I hated it because at that time I was a mature student, and they were all young lads, or young girls, youngsters, and I made a lot of friends because they looked at me as sort of like the dad, yeah. So, and we played football and stuff, and I played for Marshals actually, and but after the first year, which I class failed, and I struggled with the sports science and coaching because a lot of these lads and girls, guys, they were all getting ready for the Olympics that we had in 2012, and this was like 2000.
Yeah,
So you had 12 years, so they were all gearing up for that sort of thing, getting jobs in. There was a lot of jobs in sports science now with everything sort of thing. And I didn't like it, so it was pass or fail, and then you had to decide how much you want to do. You could do 70% of one, and you had to do at least that. So I changed them over. I did history as my major, and sports science as my minor. I did 30%. You do a dissertation at the end of it all, 10,000 words. I did it on propaganda during the Second World War, and history. I loved it. I used to love my history. On a Friday afternoon, we used to go in on a Friday and we used to do films. And you used to have to analyse films, and you used to put on old films from the propaganda films from the 40s and stuff. And we used to sit there, it was like cinema. And I used to always remember me and Tony and my mate Andy Tonberg, who lives up in Cheltenham, lives up in, where's he live to now? In Worcester. And we used to sit in there and we used to throw popcorn in and take notes, and it used to be a laugh. And so I struggled with the sports science. In fact, I had to reset a couple of the exams. And I always remember a guy called Lance Doggart, who was our main tutor for the sports science department. And he actually I see him at the Skylark quite a lot, but he don't recognise me. and he was an Irish guy. Lance Dobbard, he was a, and he used to always say, Gavin, you don't really like this subject, do you? And I say, he used to get me in the office, he goes, I'm hearing good things about the history side of things from Nigel. He said, but you don't like, I said, no, Lance, I can't get me out around. I said, oh, youngsters. He said, I know. And there was one particular one of the tutors, I didn't like him. Well, I don't think, and he knew it as well. You don't certainly get on with it. I said, no, he's a rugby man. I don't like that. But so I got me degree, and then I went to Royal Mail, and I worked for Royal Mail ever since. So, but it's good. It's a job. So
You said when you were in school, right? Just to ask a question, and you said that you wanted to be with like the hard boys at school and the reputation.
the funny lad,
funny
I want to be
like
the
the
funny
cool guy, yeah.
We all did.
It's a funny guy. But that's why I wanted to get you in today, because I personally feel that's what everyone sees you as. The Gav's the funny man. And I went into it. Well, yeah, no, but your reputation. I feel you got a reputation. You're funny. You say how it is, but on a funny spin, for example.
Yeah, I don't like falling out with people. There's no point in I've had not fallings out, but I don't know. I think people take me the wrong way.
I think it's hard in the position, in the role you've had to do
Yeah.
in the last 6 years. Is it 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
That's how long I did it for.
Yeah.
Just over 5.5 years.
Yeah. I think in that role, you cannot please everybody. You're going to piss, sorry my language,
Yeah,
piss people off. Myself, I've been on the phone shit and shit. And then, and I think it's on. I think for the way you've sort of handled it,
Yeah.
and still sort of maintained a good relationship with a lot of people, fair play to you, mate.
I've always been quite strong-minded as well. I mean, things have got to me, but I take it. I don't know. I'm a funny guy because I do get emotional.
Yeah.
I do. I don't like. I'm not that sort of person.
Sorry, confrontation.
I hate it. And it's something that, I mean, that role, even though I enjoyed it, I know you're going to talk about it later on, but I know even though I enjoyed it, I can enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, and the problem is, people still look at me now as if, and I think, I used to go around people and they stop talking. You think, well, what's wrong with it? It got me down a bit, and that's why people say, I used to take my dog and go on and just be on my own, because that's how I look at it. I don't want to be. I used to go in, take my dog and stand away from people out the way, and I always speak to people as well. But I want to be. I just want to try and be involved and help.
I think like, when you look at it, like obviously we say about like grassroots league relies on volunteers. Yeah, you get the sort of the motivation for coaches and managers do it, because we're sort of like players do it. They want to play football. They want to win shit.
Yeah.
For managers again, we get to sort of tail on that success. We know if we win a league or win a cup, we get to celebrate from that. And then you think the people running the league, you don't have that. There's nothing to. Obviously, you want the pleasure of seeing your league do well. Yeah. But there's no moment of celebration, is there, each season? But you've got that sense of personal satisfaction that your league's been run well. Do you know what I mean? But I think sometimes when I want to do it, when I want to help run the league, and I think, well, yeah, a little bit, but then would I be able to sacrifice being part of the team and club and having that sort of things myself? And then, do you know what I mean? I think
social media an out.
No.
It helps in a lot of things, but it has an out, because you see things on there. I'll never get involved. That's one thing I will never ever do. I'll never comment on anything. Yeah. I never have, because I don't want to get into a war where there's no point. But when you see things, you think, really, is that how you feel? Is that how you feel? And you get people running, and you think, well, all right, that's your opinion, but you don't know. You haven't been in the game as long as I have.
Yeah.
And I know I keep saying that, but I'm 53 now, and I've been in. I started playing football when I was 12 years old, and I played right the way through, and managed. And I've managed some good, I've been managed some great players. And over the years, those great players have got respect for me because of who I am and what I've done. I feel, anyway. Yeah. So whenever I go out, there's always, I know people, and I see people, and a lot of them are from the past, And I know I always say, what a great player he was, what a great player he was. And people say to me, well, why do you always say they were great? What about nowadays? I say, because that's when I remember it. That's what, it's not the standard. It's more, that's our, I'd love to see them nowadays playing. And if you only did see them, one of my favourite ones is you couldn't lace his boots when he was playing, like, you know. I like, you know, because it's true, you know. It's like there's a player that plays in the P&D league now. I'm not going to name his name, but he's a great player. But his father was a greater player.
Yeah.
You know, and I always say what a player your dad was, and because I knew him, and I played with him, and I managed him, and I know him, and I wish he was around now playing. I can see his son in him as well, the way he plays, but
I think these, just touched on, but you was in, say, 5.5 years, not 5.5 years as well, so under you on the committee. I know you're saying about there isn't any reward, like you're thinking, there's more the fact of, thank fuck the season's over.
yeah.
So in the last couple of seasons, I think COVID.
What meant is that you have to go home and there's nobody there when they've got when they're doing the celebration, going thanks to the league, thanks for doing all this.
Yeah.
And sort of you go home and go, that's a good season, pat on the back, but that's all you're getting, and it's like, do you know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, early days when I first took it on in the cup finals, I mean, I was at every cup final, doing what I have to do, and sometimes you don't want to be there because you know, you get this. Oh, he's biased towards that team, and that. I was just never ever that was never the case.
Didn't leave a team of you ever in the cup final.
Yeah, but no, but there was one. I mean, look, they were in a final, one of the finals, and I was nothing to do with that.
They were in a team of you, jumper.
I mean, it was a lovely, comfy jumper. It was. To be honest, I still wear it. I'll turn it inside out now. But it's
the thing that the ones I was employed in.
It was comfortable, but I enjoyed the early days doing the cup finals. Last season, I couldn't wait for it to end, and at the end, I didn't.
I know,
and I knew then it was time for me to go. I was looking at it as maybe the P&D or maybe what I did as a secretary, and I tried them out. I tried, and people saying, "Why got the small divisions?" I did it for a reason, because I thought it was an easier way of doing it. You play the chart 3 times. I know it's the same thing, but you still got all the cups. I brought in the plate trophy, and that was a good idea that I had. I got that from snooker. So I used to play snooker, and I wasn't very good.
So you got
our team. When we used to lose in the first round, we went into a plate trophy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I thought would be a good thing to do. It's a good thing, and it gives somebody. And I always look to see. I was champion the underdog. I want to see a team do well. You know. So, but I look at the P&D secretary role as sort of like it's obviously on that scale. There's a prime minister and president. It's got a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
That's it. You stop. You know, the person that I took over from was, God rest his soul, was a brilliant secretary.
I was going to touch on him anyway,
Phenomenal secretary. And I always remember I'll never forget the day where I was at Cup Final. I mean, look, my record at Devon Cup Finals are not great. I mean, I played in 7, or managed or played in 7, lost all 7. You know, I've never won a cup final at the Coach Road. So apart from when Lloyd got to the final with seconds, and I was like sort of like number 2. I wasn't really. I just went out with them. They won. And I enjoyed the day with them, and that was a supplementary cup final or something. But I never won a cup final up there. And I remember the P&D they did the Ken Rickard final over one season as well, and I lost that one as well. You know, so my record as a manager is good. It's just. It was getting that over the line. Never really, you know. So that's why I keep coming back. A bit like Muhammad Ali. Obviously not, you know. It's just a for instance, but you're just going to keep coming back in the end of being punch drunk, you know. So I think a couple more seasons doing this, and then I'd like to get involved with youth football at some point. I've always said that. I think that's where I'd like to go in the end. And refereeing has opened my eyes back to DGM football. So I tend to forgot about it for a long time. You know, it was just kids football. You know, and because my 2 sons never played football, weren't really involved. And then I obviously I got married and I had children, and for like 5 years I was out of football completely. Didn't get involved at all. Stopped.
Yeah.
You know, I was halfway through my degree as well. And I always remember I was down Vicky Park one day with my daughter on her bike. She was just learning to ride her bike. She was at 5. We were down there, I was 4, I think. She was down there, and I had a little bike for her. and that little parking behind the cafe,
Yeah.
and there was 2 games on. And I always remember hearing Monty Lee Russell's voice. I thought, Monty there. And I always thought, I'm not going to look at football because I'm going to get drawn back in. Get drawn back in. And I looked and what's going on over there? And I went over for 5 minutes, had a chat with Monty Lee, and I was all this. And I went back and then the funny thing was, about 3 days later, I was sat in the office in work, and Lloyd phoned me, and the blue, I heard from him for years. Like, yeah, how you doing, mate? Yeah, good. Because you lose track of people, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, 'cause if you're not going out on the beer with them or socialising with them, apart from football, you know, you don't see people. And he's just said to me, "Think about getting a team back together." Sundays. What do you reckon? I said, well, I don't really know any players now. That's the phase. Well, and then I thought, right. So I said, yeah, go on, then, let's do it. And then, I never looked back. So that was what, 2010.
So when you were out for 5 years, what did you miss it? Like, and I don't mean, I miss football. I mean, obviously you've gone from like being out all weekend and just living and breathing football to nothing. Like, what was that like for you?
I still went out and stuff and things like that, but it's still. I mean, my children were obviously my main goal concern. You know, my sons and my daughter. So no, I mean, I didn't miss it really. I mean, I even went to Argo a few times, like, you know, but and stuff like that.
Don't go now.
So I can't really remember what I used to do at holidays and work, and then go out and socialise them up, and maybe think, you know, go out and family things. Really, you know, I didn't get involved in football at all. I got out of the grassroots game completely. I didn't look at anything. I didn't know who the players were coming through. Probably your time you were starting to come through and stuff like that. So I didn't know. It wasn't until I got back involved with Anyways, and we started off again, that I started seeing people again.
That's the first time I met you. It was when I rang you.
Got keen, yeah.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Sunday morning, and he said, "Sorry, I can't just woke up. I've been out on the piss last night." Right? And he said, "Yeah, Victory Street." I said, "Oh, it's kind of real for me, but how can we get it?"
Yeah.
So I'll come down, got the key, and then pop. Oh yeah. What is that? I don't even. I just drive down and that.
Yeah, and that's the sort of person I am. I'll give you the key.
Give me the key.
So I didn't even know you, did I?
I brought it back, and we stood on the doorstep by an hour, had a conversation about football.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get rid of you from that. Just that one conversation.
So you obviously like, touched on the mental health stuff then. So you had a good, like, almost replacement for football, didn't you? You say you obviously good dad, spent a lot of time with your kids. You had other things that was gonna like sort of keep you occupied, keep you sort of your jug full or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Like, but do you ever find players that have like disintegrate, or like you say, disintegrate's the wrong word, deteriorate mentally when they leave football or when they haven't got that?
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I have. I mean, we've had reunions and stuff where we go back, and I mean, and yeah, I have. Yes, I have. There's a certain player, a lad that I know. He's well known in football. I'm not going to name his name. He's a great bloke. Yeah. We still call each other gaffers and stuff because I managed him. He managed me. He's a great manager. I was actually assistant to him as well for a season, and I know that he's had struggles, you know, and over the years. And I would love to him to get back involved in football because he was brilliant. Yeah, I've seen it, Ben. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is with me, it's something that I've seen, but I haven't really. I've seen it more now in working with my role in the union. Yeah, the Royal Mail.
Yeah,
when people were working within the Royal Mail about mental health and stuff.
I remember it. We had a conversation about 12, 16 months ago on the phone around that area. He said, "Oh, about this going on, this going on." And I said, "Why do you fucking phone me sooner?" Yeah. And I would unload on somebody, and he went, "It's not what we do," and that's what stuck with me. Right? Do you think that's because that's the culture for when? I've
had lots go on, and I'll keep it to myself, like, you know, and I don't really. I'm quite strong.
Do you think you're quite strong? Do you feel like you don't want people knowing your business?
I'm just
a private person.
Well, it's not so much private person. It's more that I don't really want to hassle people with things, and it's not some of them off into trivia and what other people got. So that's me. I'll just try and look on the bright side, you know, and just crack on with something. There's been times where I think to myself, I don't want to go to this game today with the finals. I just don't want to, because I know there's going to be people. You think, oh, and you feel like saying, hey, you know what you're talking about.
I think the vital thing just to know is the fact of people watching, listening, is that especially with the P&D, it is not a paid role.
No,
nothing.
It's not so much that's why.
But I feel like people, when they have the 2 pence piece in and they say, oh, this and that, it's like they expect you to do it because they feel like you are paid. Well, they pay their fees, for example.
Doing it for the love of the
game
at the end of the day.
I think that's what people don't understand.
That love does
soon die out.
Start to die.
Yeah.
Got to admit. I mean, I've become a referee, and I wish I did it years ago. Really, I've got to admit, I love it because I've got a new camaraderie now with the referees, and I hate to see a referee. Don't matter how bad people say they're bad, yeah, or we all have bad. No, it happens.
Yeah.
And there is. I will stick up for them no matter what, because they're doing a job, and I know they're getting paid, but they're still doing. You do it then. Do you know what I mean? If you didn't have a referee, I remember years ago you had to somebody had to referee a game. Now that can't be right, can it? If a referee doesn't want to go to a game because he's
certain teams, etc.
But that's so now. I want to try and look after the referees, and I'm still worrying this weekend when it all starts that the referees are going to be all right. They got a game.
So we've had me and Ben on the commission. The last one, then I get what you said. Then is unfortunately the man in the middle, the referee, is the fact that people use that 90 minutes of playing or how long are they playing the game is their way of getting rid of any stress or relentless or whatever. You pay to win. Let's be honest, in football, majority of the people who play football, they play to win.
Yeah.
And obviously they got a man in the middle who's making they're going against what they want. You understand it. But we've had it before where we've had obviously, there is no football. There is no football without referees. There is no football without league executive members who just give up their time. So when the people like to pick fault at referees, I've done in the past, I've been charged to hold my hands up. Right, because you don't realise what you say at that heat of the moment. You don't realise that. And without those people, the members, the league executive members, the coaches and managers who watch the kit for free, there isn't no football. So I think when people like to dig and stuff like that, you won't be kicking a ball if it wasn't the people that they do.
Well, yeah, but also as well, you've got to remember players are different. I mean, you've got obviously players nowadays. I think the actual, it's not respect. I think the what's that word? I can't really think the word it's called. I think there's some players nowadays they don't really understand it's not violent, but it's more, you hear more incidents now.
Yeah. Right.
Now I'm going back like 25, 30 years when there was some hard blokes playing football. And I mean, you know, you never heard of it then.
Respect.
They just play football, respect, yeah. They play football and that was it. Well, playing against England day.
Yeah.
And he might give you a little bit of argy-bargy on the pitch. I remember once, I'm not going to name the person, you go around me again, lad, you're not going to be going around me, you're not going to kick you in the air. And I thought, because I was quite skillful and quick, do that again, you're going to get it, get it. And I thought, and somebody said to me half time, I wouldn't have told you.
Yeah.
So what's I'm going to win the game.
I think again I think this all boils down to the social media thing now, whereas people are a lot more willing to say what they want to say or just say what they feel without worrying about any sort of. And I don't believe in like solving things with violence, but I believe before there was a lot more fear of any sort of physical repercussion, so they wouldn't say something because if I say that to him, he's probably going to give me a slap. Whereas now, and this comes from the social media thing, where people can just, see people online, they'll go and say something to a stranger that they've never met, and they'll just completely barrage of abuse at this person they've never met. And it's sort of almost like it's carried onto a football pitch. And you see these incidents where someone will say something, and you've got someone turn around and they'll say something absolutely disgusting. You think, he's only knocked into you, or he's only, do you know what I mean? And that carries on with referees, I think, as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've seen it more on the small side of football.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I'll do leisure leagues sometimes on a Monday. I'll supervise it. I don't do it all the time, just out. And I mean, it's like World War III. And you think, what's going on? They're playing football on a Monday night. What's wrong with you? No, brilliant. You think, come on, mate. And you see it, they're swearing onto each other, and you think, I've seen. Look, I'm not saying it didn't. Back in years ago, you saw that afterwards. I've seen loads of fights in changing rooms. The referee's gone. Yeah. Oh, we saw that after. Yeah, right. Rivalries, because you had rivalries back then, areas.
Yeah.
Because people used to play for where they used to play, and you had some hard. Players.
I used to have a Swilly team and stuff like that. There was
a North Prospect. Yeah, there was. Some of the teams back then you had on a Sunday you used to have civil. The civil teams, Line and Column, the Blue Monkey.
Yeah.
You used to have Whitley sides, like the old, what's the pub out there called? I can't remember what it's called now. The
Bluebird.
Yeah, the Bluebird used to have teams. That was Effort. So you had Effort Villa, you had Effort, you had the Bluebird, you had Effort Villa, you had the, Beacon Castle was a club out there as well. Yeah. Then you had your Plymstop sides, and then you had your Stonehouse teams, Yeah. So, there was teams and lots of teams and lots of players and lots of blokes, who do what they were doing. Mountain Cold, some of the teams they had, over the years. Some of the players they had, you used to think, right, well, I'm not playing against it today. But you used to play football. As long as you're not going to, it wasn't about, let's go out and have a punch job, it was about, let's go out and play football. Yeah. And there's some cracking games, Or I've seen it in the past where people got sent off and fighting on the pitch and things like that, and it's happened, and and it does happen, but it's more apparent nowadays that you're seeing more things, and not just down here; it's all over the place. As a referee, I do in Devon County now, a part of rule I got. You do hear of a lot of things that are going on around and in England, the whole of England and stuff. So and social media doesn't out.
Yeah.
There's an incident a couple of weeks ago, obviously, it was straight on social media. Mm-hmm. And I thought, really? That would have never have happened. That would have been hearsay.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd have been explaining what happened.
Yeah.
Someone's got a camera now straight away, let's report that.
Yeah.
Why? It's a recreational sport.
Yeah.
Unless you're getting paid a lot of money, it's a recreational sport you love.
The one thing, obviously, you touched on, obviously, your old lecturer at college, university that my kid does rugby. Right. He was a rugby master.
Still picturing there.
Yeah, but I would love just to see a game be played when they adopt the rugby rule. And when the captain can speak to the referee, and even a sorry sir, no worries, just to see how it actually worked out. I just don't think, with the mentality.
Have you ever played rugby?
Yeah, I'm playing rugby.
I used to play in the Navy, and it's chalk and cheese. It's like you speak to ref. Sorry, sir, yes, sir. And and I always when I play football, I sort of carry that on with the ref. And that's sort of carried through. Yeah, I can be a little shit with other players sometimes, but that's sort of when nobody's watching. But But and it's complete. But also it's like the sort of mentality. I was a player once. He's gone down in a friendly. 30 seconds in, he's running for the try line, 30 yards from the end, he's been taken down on his wrist, bone snapped out his arm, literally out, and he's crawling towards it with the ball, trying to get the ball over. And there's one of the officers off my ship.
I love that.
And I said, and I'm walking next to him, sir, nobody's playing, he's trying to get them sort of, and I'm thinking, and then he sat there afterwards with a stick in his arm in a deck chair with a fat.
And in agony.
Yeah, in agony, but then we were playing football, and someone gets nudged into it, they're on the floor for ages, and I'm thinking, and that's one thing that ruins football for me.
It does. Do you know what I mean? It does. I'm not gonna be. I was no angel. I was awful with referees. I was one of the gobbiest, horrible shits you could ever imagine on a football pitch years ago. Yeah, moan at everything. But I've sort of probably matured, realised that they're there to do a job, and now, you'll see me as a manager. I might over the season, I might have a question. But I won't. And once again, what you got to remember is once the football match is over, it's over. It's 90 minutes done. Well, what can you do? And once he's made that decision, he's not going to go back. they don't want to go back on what he's done.
I say this to my players all the time. So have you ever seen a ref go, do you know what?
We got it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, not even like I got it wrong, because they will turn and say, "I got it wrong" sometimes.
Yeah.
But they've gone, because a load of players are screaming, "Oh, you're wrong." They go, "Do you know what? Actually, yeah, you're right. Actually, I'll change that."
Yeah.
It's pointless. All you can do is get red card and sent off. Or with some referees, you can't know because they're only human. They're a load of grudge against
They
you.
do. They
Do you know what I
do.
mean?
But I feel, what we're saying,
They do.
I think with referees, like anybody in football who does it for money, even paid roles, for example. But it's the fact that people don't realise what they say when they say it and how it can affect that person, whether it's a referee, right? Because maybe that 90 minutes where he's got the whistle in his mouth is his escape from what he's dealing with in his personal life. The same with the manager, same with the coach, same with any committee members who help run the leagues.
Yeah.
It's the old cliche about words hurt. I think social media, in fact, if you've got something to say, put it in the report, do it the appropriate channels. Don't put it on social media where other people can see it and then people get referees being sent in.
They do, and that's the thing. We obviously, and I'll give you this, but we don't think about it. This is something that they love. It's a passion. I know they get paid for it, but it's not. It's not like rock star wages. And imagine doing something that you've trained to do. You put a lot of effort in, a lot of your passion, and somebody's coming at you and saying "fucking shit" at that. You're fucking terrible, and you get that constantly. It's not just one person; you got 20 people saying it, and then the next day you 20 people saying that to you again, and it's got to take it. Still, some thick skin.
It has. Heat of the moment is an horrible thing because I've said stuff to people and afterwards I feel bad. I go home and I'm shivering and I always do. You got to be the bigger man sometimes. You got to make got to understand that you've probably been wrong and and it's like it's.
But I think that's the issue. A lot of people aren't willing to hold their hands up and say, "I was wrong."
No,
because they lose face.
And you get, and I think again, like I say, you get that with towards the refs and that, and I think what they go for is shocking. But then sometimes some of them aren't willing to turn around and say I was wrong and that. Do you know what I mean? And that causes even more issue.
That's true because I've refed some games where I've made a mistake and I think that's the wrong decision, Gav. And during the game, you're thinking, "Oh, I feel bad now. I feel bad."
Yeah.
And there was a game last year, another 15s game where the goalkeeper came out and he was impeded, and they scored from it. And one of the mothers come on and said, "How can you let that happen?" I said, "Look, please leave the field." I said, "It's gone now."
Yeah.
And it made it 2-each. And afterwards, the manager, he was giving me all that there. And I went over to him, I said, "You keep on, mate." Look, I said, "Look, just let it go." I said, I think I made a mistake. Yeah. Well, you really? I thought, God, why you say that? So after the game, he was all right with me. Like, they won in the end. They didn't win. They won 3-2. So it was all like forgotten. But I stood on it. I got on
Do
it.
you feel, right, here's a question for you, you haven't got to answer it, but you're refereeing, something happens in the 10th minute and you think I've got that wrong, right? Are you then looking for something in that game for the team then go, actually, I'm going to even the score?
I would say you sometimes do. If you'd only be human if you didn't. I don't care what any referee, if they didn't admit to that. You're not looking for it, but I suppose if it happens,
I'm going with them.
you try. Because if it's blatant, and this was blatant to be honest, I should have given a free kick. It was a foul, really. And I felt sorry for the lad as well. But I didn't. I let him give him the go. He was impeded. He was taken out, really, to be honest. But I let it go. And maybe you do. Yeah, I haven't done that though. I've never done that. I had an incident last year, and then we'll talk about mental health, right? And then this is where some people could cave. Other people could cave in. I had a game last year. It was under 12s at Martins. I'm going to name the two teams. And
One of them.
well, I had this game, and one of the players that played for a team that we know was father of the team. He had his boys playing, and they come in this game thinking they're going to win this game. They've beaten 7-1 a couple of weeks before, so they played against them, and all game there's 3 guys on the sideline. I said, "Oh, they're doing my head in," because this team will give them a good game at this day, and they won 2-1. This team, I knew the man from the team. I said, "Well done." And they're giving me grief. He said, "Did you want to win?" I said, "I'm not bothering that." Yeah, don't bother me, No, it's they don't know who I am.
There we go.
So I just walked off. No, I did though. I just walked off, stood up the top, waited for them to come up. They didn't come up. But I was going out that day. That was the only game I had. I was going out on the beer. So I goes out, met all my friends that I've got, my close friends, not football friends, because my football friends, but I've got these friends, they're the friends that go out in on the beer. Some Saturday afternoon, watching the football and having a good day. My best mate, or not go out with, used to play football with years ago. And about 4 o'clock, gets a text message from this manager that and it's like War and Peace. What I did wrong, this, and I'm thinking, who you think you are? Coming into my social time after a game about a boxy game of football, moaning about what I've done wrong. And it put me off my day a little bit because I'm out with my mates. And my mates just he goes, who is it? I said, he said, you've had a few drinks.
I remember because you phoned me and said, what do I do with this?
I know.
I bought it.
I did. I didn't like doing it really because it's like grass. And but I did report it.
But sometimes you have to.
Yeah. Because it played on mine all day. I mean, he got my number obviously from the referee's contact, and he had the audacity to try and tell me, and this was a 30-year-old snotty bloke who I know football. I've been in football a long time. It's one game of football they lost fair and square, and he reckons I was giving free kicks for silly little things. I wasn't.
This is one of the questions I'm going to ask you, because you referee in younger age groups, and I feel that some referees who referee say adults and then they go down to under 16s, okay, but when some, I think, they go to adults, they go and referee say the under 11s, under 12s, where a push is a push at that age group, it is a bit more lenient because they referee adults, so they don't see it in that aspect. Because he said, we had the conversation, Gavin, you referee my girls, and I said, that was a push, and he said, and you went, yeah, that's fair. And but you feel that it's hard to slip back into kids football refereeing when you have refereed adults. Do you find
I find it easier. I find it easier in transition. It don't bother me because I've got that way of bending on a ref. I'll try and keep up with play, try and talk as much as I can, and you sometimes get things wrong, and you do. You're only an amateur referee.
This is my point. Is if you didn't make a single mistake, you wouldn't be managing, refereeing local football. And it's like it goes on to players, and when I'm managing, I think, guys, if I make the wrong decision or the wrong substitution, I don't start the right player. I don't need you coming in my face saying, "Well, you got that wrong." Because if I got it right every time,
exactly,
I'll be managing.
Well, I've seen you do that as well. You're quite respectful on the sidelines towards referees, even though you're probably thinking, you are deep down, you are thinking that, but you're keeping your emotions in, which I think is the best thing to do. There's no point in ranting and raving to them because they're not going to change the decision. What can you going to do? You're going to say, let's replay the game.
It's pretty good. So I think they said, speed and come off and I'm getting every sense. And then the devil said, "Oh, you watch red. Let's change it." They'll come, "Oh, yeah, why did you change that?" I was speaking in.
But that's the thing, but it goes all the way down to players, because even players, I can give them if they have a bad game.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I go, you went shit today, you cost of the game, But that tells me that lad's going to go up.
One or two ways. So they're going to react back to you.
But also he's going to go home, and that can play on his mind. So all I say is, I know we're amateur footballers, my team are amateur footballers. As long as I get the effort, as long as I get 100% effort, it's your hobby. You're only letting yourself down if you don't give that effort.
I agree.
And I'm not going to, we had a lad in the cup final last year and he got sinned, and one of their players is going to, that's all on you. And do you know what I mean? And I said to him after the game, and I said, you know the repercussions of what you did. I said, but I'm not going to stand there and scream at you and tell you to let everyone down. I said, you're a young lad, but what you'll do is you'll learn from that, and the next time you'll have that experience. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, one of the first things I wanted to do when I was in the P&D is I wanted to take the whole responsibility to the referee. I don't agree with lineups. I don't agree with club linesmen. I don't agree with that. I don't like it. When I was playing football, the referee controlled everything. Now, that being, he's not going to get every offside or anything, but he used to control a lot. So I'll do the lot.
Yeah.
Now I don't understand why they can't do that still. Why have you got to have a linesman from both sides? And look, I'm not saying, but sometimes it's hard when you're a linesman because you're going to put your flag up. Take that away from the responsibility. All right, for semi-finals and finals, get linesmen in. You know, but why do you have to have linesmen when the referee is? He can do the job. He's running up and down that pitch. He's there. All right, this is grassroots football. You don't need lineouts. The referee can do that. And then sometimes he's going to let it go through and score, or he's not. Or he's going to call offside when it went offside. But it's a bit like VAR. Sorry, it'll even itself out.
Do you have trouble manning that with the amount of volunteers we have? If you needed 3 official refs.
No. What I'm saying, Ben, is the referee does it all. You don't.
Oh, right, yeah.
So there's no line of flags.
Yeah.
So I'll do the offsides.
I often thought it'd be easier 2 refs, one in base, the other on each side of the pitch, and then because then you'd be easier to
You're
monitor.
talking about like handball, basketball, for example.
Yeah, easier to monitor the offsides, wouldn't it?
You will get you will.
No, you wouldn't
As
have
referees. That's the problem.
Yeah,
But
let's be honest. Look at the FA ruling now. When under sevens next year, playing 3v3. That's the way it's. Yeah, that's referees.
3v3.
Referees are going to die out next year in youth football.
well, I want to
We're going to die out. People aren't going to want to do it no more, or we're going to need more referees. Because referee for a 2 versus 3 versus 3.
I want back to what you said about young people refereeing their age down. I think they should referee their 3 years down. So if you're a 14-year-old, I think you should be only refereeing 11-year-olds. Because I put so much pressure on these referees. I've seen them. I've been at games where I'm maybe on the other side of the pitch on a different game, and it's like a young lad. He's only like what 13, 14. He's refereeing. He's officiating it. And I'm thinking he should be. It's not really fair on him. That's putting so much pressure on him. And the problem is the question would be then is that you're not going to have any referees. But I don't see where you can't really have a club one of the people in the club referee the game anyway up until about 14s, because I know when people say, "Oh, yeah, but they're going to be biased and stuff like that," but morally, solely, you shouldn't be anyway, should you? Look, I remember when I was involved with Tamar View a few years ago.
With jumper.
I turned up to a game at was it Tall Bridge. I wasn't the manager. I was like involved with them. Me and Dawn rocked up to watch the game, and the referee didn't turn up. Of course, I was like starting to put my toe in the water as referee, and I was here, so I bought it all. So I said, "Well, I've got my facts and stuff." And the other team, I want to say who it was. It was Chris Bollison's team, Seth Brown. And he said, "Oh, I was going to be." I said, "Look, Chris, I will referee this game fair and square down the middle. I promise you. I'm not. When I'm going out, I will referee it." I said, "If not, I will ref it." "Oh yeah, go on." So I refed the game. They won 2-1. After he said to me, "God, you're brilliant." I thought, "Really?" He said, "You were really good today." He said, "You talked, you give everything right." He said, "No, that was brilliant. Thank you." And I went, I was down the middle.
Right. They won 2-1.
Yeah.
Would have been different if they had lost
Exactly. I
3-2.
was about to say that. I'm about to say that.
Yeah.
But even the team review lot was saying to me afterwards, "God, to be honest, Gav, we wish we had a referee now because he said, well, you were fair."
Yeah.
And it was, what's he called? Zimmerman. Joshy, he said to me, "Oh, you were fair and square there, mate, all the way through the game." And I thought, why am I doing this? Well, I quite enjoyed it. But obviously, that's one game. So, and I've been at other games where I've refereed them, and I've been there and they say, "You ref," and I'm there, no. Because I know that it would have been, you're biased, even no matter what happened.
But you get some people as well in that position where they think, "Oh, this guy's associated to this club, so he's going to be biased." So then some people would go, "I've got to prove I'm not now," and so inadvertently you start favoring the other team.
You do.
That improves that you're not.
It's really a real minder as well,
Yeah.
because that's it in your mind. You do. That is so true.
I had it. Jesus Christ, about 4 years ago. Steve Edwards, Springy Corp. We laughed about it one time. I just remember this. And then was a game up at Buckland School when they had activators in the Sunday League. right? There's my last game of the season after they against Steve Edwards, some very good players in that team.
Yeah.
Against the athletic team, my athletic team. We tied it up. Referee hasn't tied it up. I've gone, if you've got a whistle, I'll do it. That day, athletic finished with 9 players. Right? And he said to me, he said, I can't believe you didn't send me off. Because a sin bin was in there. I need a sin bin. Right? But because I knew him, right, that's what I'm saying. Because I knew him and we had a good relationship outside of football, and he was chatting, I came back. Do you know what I mean? So we had a bit of banter on the sideline. The 2-1 was for a blatant last ditch tackle where his caught me had to go. What was violent conduct? So in the as a footballing man, he got to go. Right? And then they left my club after that. We're trying to chase the money for the red card they got. So I put the cards in. It's the humane thing to do. You take the whistle, you put the cards in. And he said to me, I said, I can't believe it's sin-bin me. And I thought to myself after, he should have went. But you're refereeing against your own side, you're thinking, down the middle.
Yeah. I had a game last season, under 18s it was. I love refereeing under 18 games. I can't admit they really are. I challenge under 18 years. I love them. Because they're quite respectful under 18s.
Yeah.
More than the younger. I don't know why, but they just seem to be getting that age now. They're running men's football. And they can. So I refereed a game at Ivybridge. And it was Ivybridge versus, I think, Sobash. And the lino was brilliant. He really was. And one of the Ivybridge lads did a real bad challenge, and I wanted to book it. And their line was set. Their line, this is the Ivybridge booking, ref. Come on. And I went, that's your all.
That's your
And at the time, he said to me, booking. I said, well, no. I said, it was 5 minutes into the game. But, it was up the tail of the ball. My woman's his favourite to say it. It was up the tail. And I said, I didn't. He said, I would have looked it. I said, would you? He said, yeah. And I thought, and I said, well, and I asked him why, and he told me. I said, well, okay, that's fair enough. I said, I'll take that on board. He said, no, that's fair enough as well. And he was brilliant. It's like this line, I've got him out. He turned up to one of the games, one of the finals. He was part of one of the teams. I can't remember what team he was. It was Arbroath Ford. Glasses, tall bloke. Brilliant liner. Probably the best liner I've ever done because he was so honest and truthful down the line. And I thought to myself afterwards, I said, that's their one. You wouldn't get that from a lot of sides. Yeah. If you booked him, how you booked him for? I didn't book him, and it has to be why I did book him.
But you say about just touching kids' football. For kids, one of the rules that I've got on my girls' team is they turn up, their parents drop them off, and I've said to the parents, right, so brilliant. So they're with me for an hour and 10 minutes, probably a bit more. So the only voice they're going to be listening to is mine and the referees.
Yeah.
Right. So if you start speaking on a bench, your child comes off. And they say, why your child coming off? Because they can't. Kids getting frustrated because the parents tell them one thing. And who do I listen to here?
Yeah.
And so you bring them to me to coach them football. I might get stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Speak to me after and ask me why. But I hate the fact of you got a voice on the sideline shouting at kids. When you got to play it left, move right, play that. When the coach has set them up the way to play. And I've got a good parents group. I said, if you shout at your player saying do this as against me, then they come off because they've got 4 or 5 different voices shouting.
Yeah.
And 2 people they listen to us, a referee in the middle of the pitch and the coach on the sideline. Sometimes I am that. And I've been told by my parents before, they said, we don't like you refereeing.
Yeah.
I said, why don't you let me refereeing? Because they get everything.
Yeah.
Well, no, because if it's a foul, you're teaching your children that's a foul.
Yeah.
Question your referee now, because I've had this argument with one of my parents recently. Free kick, if they shout, leave it.
Rule, yeah.
Right, so I said that. They probably the parents, they couldn't find the rule. And I thought it is a rule.
I'll let a lot of things go. I'll do.
Yeah.
Because I just want to...
What you say there is, you said you let a lot of things go. What I was saying, but then a referee who's... Oh, no. That's the rule book.
Yeah.
So I must do that rule book. And they do it, and they sign my second. The referee last week didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, admittedly, I could be hard. Not hard with them, but I want to know every rule going.
See, I mean, what you said earlier on about sending players off and stuff, and Rich Mason's not watching this, because I haven't sent a player off yet. In the 2 years I've been refereeing. I've booked a few, but I haven't sent a player off because I haven't really had that. I mean, I'm no doubt it will happen one day where violent conduct comes in, but I haven't had that. and I haven't really had any bad challenges. And I've had people swear at me and stuff. I've seen it though. I'm not going to send them. You know? I've got kids all right. You know,
Do you feel because it's down to management?
Yeah.
Manage the game.
I like to manage the game right, and I always say with friendlies to managers, especially kids games, or children's games. Sorry, if I'm getting someone gobbing off, I'm going to say you take them off for a bit.
Yeah, especially priests and friendly.
That's what I do.
So, Gavin Hardie saying that about 3 weeks ago, texted me said, "You've got a spare referee shirt." Because I was going, I looked back again, the referee, and I was refereeing. Straight away, he's ragged me and said, "Are you refereeing?" So I'm refereeing under. They said, "Well, I'll do that one. You costed me 30 quid. I'm not giving you a top, right?"
That's not.
But Billy said, "No, come and get one." But there's a fact, though, yeah, you've got volunteers in the club. I said, "Look, I'm not going to charge. I've got up there, referee the game." But they're under 16s. I said, "Listen," I went, "Cool. Go and speak to the team, one team before. I speak to the manager." I said, "Listen, the one word you're going to hear a lot in this game is advantage.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to referee this game as if I'm refereeing a men's game. So you're treated like adults."
Yeah.
I think that's what sometimes is, if you treat them like adults, you said you referee under 16 and they're 18
Yeah.
games. If you referee them as adults,
Yeah.
then they're going to gain respect for the referee. If you treat them like children,
Yeah.
and they're still like children, then that's when they're going to start. You're going to start getting.
Yeah.
I go back.
Yeah.
You're explaining the decisions to a 16-year-old. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in the school, go stand outside. No reason, for example. They're going to go, "Well, I'm outside." If you go put them in, say, "Listen, you've gone in, right? You haven't won the ball. You go, all right, don't do it again. It's going to my book, and I'm costing you 15 quid."
Yeah.
And then go, "Oh God, yeah, 15 quid now." So now you manage it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to manage it if you can. You know.
So, obviously, we're going to wrap things up in a minute.
Been very good.
Yeah.
Challenging.
So obviously, I just want to recap on a couple of things, Gav. So obviously, like we said, leagues, the amount of players, and we people, and this is what does annoy me, because people go, "Oh, the league's rubbish then compared to what it was." And it's not. It's participation, and you can't, when people aren't going, there's nobody sat at home going, "Oh, I'm not playing because the league's not run very well." They're not playing because they go to watch our goal. Their missus don't let them. As Rockford says, they got the kids. They want to spend time with kids. They got other hobbies. They work on a Saturday.
Yeah.
All these other reasons. And the fact is, like you said, when the people were kids, it was football or nothing. Now you've got other things. You've got football. You've got other sports that become more prominent. You've got other hobbies. People just don't like it as much anymore. So that league, is there anything that you would reckon that would help build the numbers up again? And I think it's going to be pretty much an impossible task, because just of the way in society, the attitude towards football.
Yeah.
And I think more people are more content being spectators rather than participators.
Yeah.
Do you think, is there anything that could help build it back up a bit?
Now the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I think the problem is nowadays it's so bloody expensive.
Yeah.
For running a football team, people don't realise.
Yeah.
They'll, let's do a team. Yeah, all right, but that's the
Get a grab before you
need
start.
this, that, and the other. Saturday football, this rubbish smell, it's dying in Plymouth. But it's not. It's just that people are going to other leagues.
Yeah.
So that's because they opened it up, the chance to go to other division leagues, and that's fine.
Yeah.
The Plymouth League, it's rubbish. I remember. You remember, yeah, but you remember because that's when it was good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, times move on. Sundays will always be a good because there's no other. I keep saying there's no other leagues. One of my favourite ones is, and I'm not having a go into South Devon because I help out with South Devon as well. Right? But I always say to these teams, we'll go to South Devon. Go to South Devon Sundays as well. Huh? Oh no, of course there's no South Devon Sundays. It's just a sarcastic little.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But it's true. You're right. And council have out.
No.
The diabolical, and I'm going to say the diabolical pitches we've got in this now.
There's nothing. There's nothing there, Johnny.
No. And if and the people that have got private pitches will branch out.
Yeah.
And if you got 3Gs, and they're so bloody expensive as well.
Yeah.
They're not cheap.
Yeah.
To have a 3G pitch. And the thing is nowadays as well. I mean, I think the average person will charge £5 subs. Which is okay. But if you're charging £5 subs on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you got a 3G pitch, you're going to not even going to break even.
No, you're not.
Because you've got the referee to pay as well after, which is 20 quid.
Yeah.
I personally think that referee's fee should be the home side paying. So it's going to be split down the
So
middle.
like the Devil Women's League.
Yeah. So so if you're in a cup, you get drawn on tough.
Yeah.
I know I don't like using that word, but tough.
Yeah.
That's what should
They said, for example, with my Sunday sides that I run, I look at it, I go, boys, how many do you have today? The home game, for example, 1 and 12, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, they're like, why? You haven't even broke even. He's £60.
Money.
That's not even.
and that's the thing. You've got to think about money as well.
You've got to run the football club nowadays, so you
Yeah.
run a business.
Yeah, and then you got sign on. Sorry, you got sign on fees.
Yeah.
You think we never had sign on fees when I was playing. So I don't think you're joking. I was running 20 quid a week anyway.
All the costs of it, like you say, obviously Mark, he does a lot of the running side of it. So we get on the football side.
It's good. He's
Great,
good.
yeah.
Mark's good.
But he, there's so much stuff on it. He's obviously got privy to all the spreadsheets stuff. But then I'm like, I didn't realise that was a cost. I didn't realise that was a cost. And I always thought, would it be good if I look an investor or the council or somebody, I don't know, just go, here's a grant of money. If you want to start a football team, yeah, because there's a lot of benefits to start a football team. You want to start a football team, here's money for a kit. Because that's a lot of the issue is finding bloody kit. Here's money for a kit, here's your league entry, here's your pitch fees. Just apply for a grant, probably cover maybe, give them £1,000 for the season, for the whole year, for a team. And I think that would probably encourage people because it is like you say, it's and it's hard. You're trying to run a team now, and it's like, well, what tracksuits we get? We didn't fucking have tracksuits when I was younger. Tracksuits, what we getting? What polos we getting? What training?
Barely got too much in socks.
I'll get these footballs. I've got these brand new footballs in the week, and they're going shit.
Oh, that's one of my favourite things. Ball specialists.
Yeah.
Ball's crap left in Maryland. Really? So when you don't become a ball specialist then?
It's brilliant, isn't it? I love it.
Right. We'll wrap it up now.
Hang on, just one other quick question. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to.
So, do you? We've got a bit of time anyway. So
Yeah.
do you think? Right. It's more. So obviously, we're seeing a lot more struggles with mental health these days. Do you think it's more of being involved in football and the things with social media is having more of a toll on people's lives with mental health, or do you think not being involved, where we got a lot more people that aren't playing, would actually see a benefit from being involved in team sports? What do you think?
I think the social media is terrible.
Yeah.
I know people that are not on social media
Because of stuff. So.
they never been on it.
Yeah.
So they don't do anything different.
Yeah.
I actually rue the day that I ever went on it.
Yeah.
I can't admit. I won't comment on. You'll never get me comment, and probably people who watch this place have a comment on that.
Yeah.
I will never comment on anything, so I can't see. I just don't want to get into war and word. There's no point. What's the point? What are you gaining out of it?
You go to comment or someone's looking for a reference, bro.
Oh, that's different. Because I'm trying to help people, and I feel that I have helped people. I'll go to the last limit and try and get rid of people. I'm doing that for people.
I feel.
Yeah, no, I think what you've done with the refereeing thing with a lot, brilliant.
People come to me there.
I feel.
DTM a lot.
Right, I feel. They said 6 years, for example, the league secretary. I feel that.
How long was it?
Yeah, but I feel now that the city, or personally, like people that know you, they got a bit of the real Gav back. Do you know what I mean? There's a weight's been lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
And you turn around, you're in the change room.
It's nice to see Gav
yeah.
manager, not Gav manager.
I'm going to get that now, though, wouldn't I?
No, you're not.
Get that now. That's the problem.
And people know Gav.
Yeah, this is all part of the thing, Gav. It's part of the like Bish said to me. He said, "Come and join us." He said.
Yeah.
He said, "It's a laugh." You know what I mean?
The team talks.
And he said,
Jesus Christ.
but it G's you up.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like it's
You see a passion.
for me, it's chalk and cheese. And what I do, I'm probably like Sven Göran. I'm like, oh no. Whereas you're like, and I'm like, oh, I wish it would be like that. And it's all part of the fun of it. Do you know what I mean?
It's just things I've taken over the years from different people. Ben,
yeah,
I'm going to name him now. Darren Raven. I fucking love Darren. He's a great manager. He was the most man motivator I've ever known in my life. He used to. I've seen people in a change room like this, ready to go because of the way he used to go, and he wasn't scared to call people out. Yeah. That was his style. And I used to think, I don't know what you're doing, but I used to take a little chink out of that. And then the following day, I was managing him.
Yeah,
and it was like, and then he's like, and he's like, yeah, you're on camera. It looks a different styles.
I think I mentioned a better got on the podcast where I said about bringing the story, and I'm thinking to myself, got a chance of finishing in the top 3, yeah. Right, considering where we started. We were rock bottom of the table until October. All right, then you got people coming back, they want to start playing football again. I was in the change room starting one day, and they come were laughing when I said it. And I was just thought, got a chance of pushing on here, all right? Because people don't look at the players and turn around and say, "Oh yeah, you finished 8th." And they look at the managers, right? And they look at the people realise and tell when you're going, "Oh, how many have I got today? I'll better put my boots in my bag or shin pads in case I've got to leave myself on the bench." Or you're starting, then you've got to run around, do the clean sheet, pay the ref. But I turned around and I said there, basically jack ball and stuff like that when they changed. I said, "Listen, if he's any good at football, he'll be playing for me in here." And I go, what? Right? You're not exceptional, are you? because you've been getting paid. You're £5 this Saturday to sit on the bench for listening.
That's true.
Right? So you're getting paid to play. I said, but you're here. But just do what you do well. And they were like, after, they went, "Oh, considering you called a shit before the game, we won the game." How do you deal with your players that you got in front of you?
One thing I do remember when I was secretary of the league is when I did that team for that one season. Same review. We got to but if you remember, I actually give it up towards the end. I mean,
because of slam that you got.
It wasn't so much that I didn't enjoy doing both. I thought, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I used to go to games thinking, "Oh God, you know, I don't want to start." You know, you notice when I'm managing now, I'll go to the other side of the pitch. I'll try and keep as far away as I can from the other team. And that's what I'll always do, unless it's dugouts. But I'll still go on the other side of the pitch if I can. You know, it's difficult some places because you've got no facilities to go. DHS, you can go on the other side. And if they come over, I'll go on the other side.
What this is probably going to be an obvious answer, but prefer secretary league manager team.
Manager, and being involved with the refs. That's what I love the most. I mean, I remember I was playing against you, and I was in the dugout, and I thought, you know, it's hard because, you know, you're at loggerheads, you felt the one there. It's really, you know, each, I think. And I brought a couple of players in that night, and I thought, it was an evening game. I didn't want to be there really because I was next to them, and it's like, you know, we didn't speak. God, really? What's the point on this crap?
We've done it. We've played together. We've managed against each other.
It's hard.
I mean,
No, me and Joe, me and Gav as well. He didn't shake my hand after the game to beat him, but we'll forget about that.
I did. I don't always shake hands. At the end of the day, it's finished, it's gone.
Exactly.
And then you go on Facebook after that, and you think, oh, well, I'm not going to put anything on there. I'm not going to say. I love these match reports sometimes that people put on, and you think, really? Was that that game? I don't think it was like that, to be honest. But
I think so. When I do my reports, so when I first started doing them a few years ago for Mate Wise, it was all jokey and taking the piss and that. But now what I do is I just try and give an accurate reflection of the game. And I think if you start making excuses and saying this crap and this crap, it just makes you look better.
It does.
So I always, like you saying, whenever we got beat last season, I always go on do a report, give full credit. I actually had somebody saying, "Well, you can give us enough credit." I'm like, I mean, you've beat us. I said you deserve the win. I think, you know, what more do you want to say? Well, my lads were shit. You lot should be professional. Do you know what I mean? There's something. I think just go on there. Then nobody's got any ammo against you. Nobody can say anything. Just say, look, we deserve to lose. You deserve to lose, and that's it. But I like doing the reports because I think, you know, for the lads involved, they always, you know, when they score or something like that, they get to see it being rich. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a bit of fun.
No, you're right. It is. It's a bit of fun. And
some of them go too far, and it starts these, you know, battles on Facebook. Oh, these said this, these said that, and it's
that's the problem, and it escalates into things, and you think, well, you know, I might have to bump into that person at some point. You know, I don't really want to have. It's no point. You know? So everyone's got their own little ways of life, and that, you know, people that you don't want to be around, and people you do want to be around.
You said though about the role of secretary, you still manage their team, because that's the reason why people step up and they run a league, because they're footballing people and they will have an attachment to a club. There's not some random things calling on the street or whatever. He's going to go, I want to run that league. I've got no association to anything football, but I'll tell you what, I want to run that league. I'll be impartial. It's not going to work.
I'll give you for an instance again. I'm not going to name it, but obviously the person that I took over for, he said to me, "You're going to be a bastard," and I thought, no, that's not me. I'm not that sort of person. But I realise what he means now, because you know, it's hard because people do start like they push on you a bit.
Was it
Friendships and stuff.
favourite saying? Rules were rules.
Yeah, no, but it's not that so much. It's more that people will try and
Take
take advantage.
advantage.
Yeah, they go
You
next
know, it is, and then you get the older, oh, he's biased towards this, and people don't realise what you have to do.
Yeah.
What goes into it? The council,
Yeah.
the trophies, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
Last season, I know I'll keep going on, but the council, 3 days before the season kicked off, they still uncut the grass.
Yeah.
I was on leave that week from work.
Yeah.
I had to go down Vicky Park. There was a guy down there. He cut one pitch and he was going to go home on his tractor. I thought, we've got 2 games down here. I said, mate, you can do the other one. Well, I'm the secretary, please, can you do the other one? Well, I've got to go now. I said, but mate, please, we need it. Well, I'm not going to get in line. So you just cut it first anyway, at least. You cut it. But if I wasn't there,
That's shocking, isn't it?
I've had people phone me up, Ben, the week before, this was a couple of years ago. On the day. I go, the grass is really long down here.
Yeah.
What can I do about
Yeah,
it?
I remember with Mate Wise, it was my first time managing, and I was buzzing. We were down Vicky Park, and all week before I was like, well, it's not cutting. I was down there checking.
Supposed to play against us.
Yeah, we ended up playing against them. Our first game was nowhere in on a Tuesday, so I got down there. They cut it on the Monday. Yeah, but what they'd done is they'd left piles.
Oh, grass!
So I was there with a rake, and I remember one of the women from the street come out and she gave me a drink. She went, I've watched this for an hour now, and she goes, I can't believe they've not bloody done this. But I was raked all the grass off the pitch and full.
Do you know what that is? That's passion and love for football.
Yeah.
You want your bite.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Vicky Park. That was the Easy Car Arena.
Yeah, the Easy Cars Arena, remember?
It wasn't Vicky Park. It was the Easy Cars Arena. Free ambition because I was about voice.
But saying he stuck in for a bush because he'd seen my Facebook post saying £1 to get in. He'd come out of a bush and he said to Paul for his, I ain't paying a bloody £1 to get in. I went, mate, it was a joke.
No, but they don't see what goes into it.
Yeah.
And people don't. Unfortunately, you get your. I call them keyboard warriors. I'm not going to. They can do what they want. It's up to them. It doesn't bother me. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to. I'll still say hello to that whoever it is who puts stuff on. It's the ones that don't that you've got more respect for because they know. I'm not going to moan to you, personally. But what can you do? I've had loads of it before. Yeah.
Right, so you're going to have some questions. I'll ask some questions first, right? Because you're no longer league secretary, you can give these opinions. Who's going to win? I won't do our division because I'll do. Who's going to win Div 2 Sundays?
And I'm not being biased.
No,
I'm territory. Take my view second.
Yeah, I agree. Division 1?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough league.
That is a tough league. Close. I think Queen and Con Second's got a chance. I think Hunter's got a chance. I think True Blues will win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm with Queen Con Seconds.
Yeah, but it's just a team that they got.
Yeah.
I think True Blues. That's how I feel. But I think it'd be closer. But there's other sides as well. I think Cherry Tree's got a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm crap myself because I don't want to draw any in the Devon Cup of the Jack. But I'm going to have to eventually.
Yeah.
So.
And then the Prem.
Right.
What about 18?
My art was. I've always been I like Who.
Yeah.
I love the Who boys. I love Andy and
yeah.
stuff. So I like Who. A good side. Jenny Cliff's always going to be a tough pitch for anybody to go to. But I think it's obviously going to be between Queen and Cons and Phoenix.
Think for your Arbison Ford couldn't do
No, I don't.
Bonner?
I think they'll give anybody a good game
Yeah.
on their day, and again away they'll at their place always will. But I just sorry, but
I'm sorry, it's opinion, yeah.
Queen and Cons.
Things on, yeah.
But that's just me. Please don't say
No,
I don't know. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So yeah, Saturdays.
Yeah.
Prince Rock obviously going to be favourites. I think Morley give them a good run for their money.
I would Tavistock in that mix as well.
Morley and Prince Rock are going to.
I
I think they could be the three strongest.
think Prince Rock will win it. That's my opinion. I think they will win
I think if they keep a couple players that they had, like Mr. Tribble, people like that, they were.
Even when I was C secretary, I used to always write my.
You did last year.
I did. I
Still have your
did
talent.
it, and I. Yeah. yeah.
Who did you have last season, Edges or SB?
We didn't do it. The
I did do Saturday.
We done Sunday Division 1 and we done Sunday Division 2.
Who did I say for Division 1 last year?
You had Clash 3.
Oh, yeah, I did. Did I?
I remember, sorry.
You did, didn't you? Yeah, yeah. And who did I do for Division 2?
Take a few seconds. No, you had Hunter. No, I had
Hunter.
Taylor.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, and SB won it.
Yeah.
So we both were on that
But
one.
that Division 1, I think, is going to be the most competitive on a Sunday. I think that's going to be a cracking league because I've looked at it and I think, bloody, there's some tough games here, you know? And
The Prem's going to be the same as well. It's probably the first season that a long time. They'll be competitive.
There's not, I'm not looking at anyone in the Prem going.
Eston will be a good side
Yeah.
on their day. Portland's a good team. I think even Anchorage would be good, you know? Billick, I'm sorry.
People have slated the Constitution and stuff like that will be done, but I think give it a year and it'll all pan itself out.
Yeah.
And give it 12 months. The next season, everyone's playing. There's nobody that drop out. People not giving a team. Not this year, but I think the following season could be
Devon
well,
Cup.
Devon Cup.
Have you ever won the Devon Cup?
I honestly wouldn't even want to get a Devon Cup because we've seen some shocks in the past couple of years.
I think who will win it again. I do honestly think who will win it again. I just think they got that way. When they get into a final, they're a tough side to beat.
Good side lads. I was on the silo for Stoke last year.
Yeah.
They were hard.
Yeah.
So what I like about obviously about talking about who teams like that.
But that's just me.
No. But they've got mates that play with each other,
Mm.
and they think, "Oh, who is that person?" Because they don't know that person from
No.
who. It's just somebody that play football.
No.
Well, they don't play Saturday. They don't rave about things.
No.
I think the Sunday supplementary cup. Tax out. It's got to be
From district firsts.
Unfortunately, that's going to be tough for us because it's
it's good.
final again. Difficult one really could be a load of sides really. Can it? I mean, we got Sneff, I think, but you know, there's some good. I'm not sure which team or a few teams are going to go. I think there's the first this year,
The first.
so they'll be in it.
That's the question I asked you as well. Actually, pick one that Devon Cup.
Queen seconds maybe.
Do you feel that if you've got two teams in a club, and they want to pay you to enter, why can't you have two clubs in a teams?
Well, I don't see why you can't. I don't
I think
understand.
that's unfair.
I don't understand Devin's ruling on that.
Is it possibly because you could have a player playing against a team that he's played for that
Yeah, it
season?
could be, but
Do you know what I mean? Because technically, team of you first and seconds could
Yeah.
sign for both. You
I
could
get
have
that, but I feel you got that thing. You turn around and see a second. Sorry, you can't enter the Devon Cup because there's a first and second process. You've got two teams. The first team has to enter.
Yeah.
going back to that though, I know it's more work for administration for the teams, but I think they should both sign separately anyway. Then you could be in the same division against each other as well. There's team all that.
Yeah, for example,
It used to be Ben years
Yeah,
ago.
no.
I remember playing against Civil. I was playing with Civil first against Civil seconds.
yeah. It's for example.
I think you give the club the option whether do you want to be a team that's got both.
You try
to
it.
sign for both teams, or do you want to be separate?
You try your hardest to make the club bigger and stuff like that. I tried last year. There's no way I'll have 3 teams again. Trying to manage that.
Oh, blooming hell! I
But-
can't. No,
You got the two teams.
2 was hard enough.
Yeah.
There's a clip. There's a divide. I'm not playing for that.
Oh, no.
And I know at the moment that the SB are doing that, and you're two completely different leagues. But that will change. You wait and see.
Unless you've got drive.
What do you mean?
I think the players, you know, that you've had a couple of them, and yeah, you've had, and a couple of them's gone, and you played. For
Yeah, what you think you're.
Well, it might. All depend. Players are different nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, do they want to play football or don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, you can always say like, you know, I've got a big squad today,
Yeah.
so maybe you could go and play for. Would they be happy with that bet?
Yeah.
Would they want to
I think if you'd done it away, like when this was really a madman nightmare, whereas you're right, I'm the SB manager, I've got 2 teams. Ty, you're gonna just run the second league.
Yeah.
But I'm really in charge.
Yeah.
And then I go, right, here's your 15 for Saturday, go and play that game. And then I think that would probably be the best way for the players.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't feel like you're part of the whole team.
Whereas
Whereas
I would come in on that one.
Yeah.
you've got to do separate, as it is at the
Yeah.
minute, where it's separate teams. It's sort of like you've got Jared and Aaron and I second. They want to be able to.
Yeah.
Good thing, do you know what I mean?
That is brilliant. And what you said is you just didn't know here because when I did the first of Edways and Lloyd took all the seconds, because he's sort of a popular guy, they didn't want to come and play for me. They wanted to play for Lloyd. Because they were a good side. Like Mark's first team was starting to wane a little bit then. You know what I mean? Even though I had some cracking like Jordan Power and Clunky and all that. It was a good team. Jevons, you know, like Walls, you know, when he was playing and stuff, and Matt Tilley, and we had a good side, you know. Dan Richardson, good team. You know, Jimmy. But he had a good side as well.
Yeah.
You know? And we could play for Gav.
We have to.
Yeah. Some of the players he's got, you know, I feel, oh God, all right, I don't mind Gav, but I'll shut up, you know. But and I've got to admit, towards the end, it was starting to get a bit of a wrench on me and Lloyd as friends.
Yeah.
You know, even though we never say a cross word, and I said, look, mate, I'm going to step away now, just do one team, and they did, and they were successful. They went to Tamar View, obviously. Yeah,
Speed first.
Speed first, yeah. And then they went to Tamar View, moved around. As you do, yeah. You know, like players do nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, good question, really.
But it's
difficult.
You know what, it is very annoys me as a footballing person. Is you said about the first, the seconds. But it's when the seconds, for example, by that team all season, and the first team haven't got a game. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
And then the second players are dropped from that.
Yeah,
And it's the second team is then dropped. Players that drop to accommodate the first team players for the first team.
That's one thing I think.
That's Southwestern standard, isn't it? That's
No, in general.
Yeah, but it is, but that's what I mean, though. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't happen, really.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like you
But we
say,
see it.
if it was done where you basically
Well, they
one
jump
side
one team.
oversaw both teams, you understand. But where you've got now, you've got like, if my team don't have, we haven't got a game Saturday, and our second's got a game.
Yeah,
If I went to think, I've got 6 players here, use these, they want to use it.
I like that.
You would agree with that?
I would, yeah.
Because
I do, mate,
do you not think for the second player, it's down there and that this
Difficult.
is
Yeah, I agree. I think what I like the way your SB's done it, because you're in 2 different leagues.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you're in 2 different. You're fighting on 2 different.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
fronts.
is, for
Because
example,
technically, we're not a first and second team. We're just 2 different.
You are, really.
For example,
In fact, your first team have been playing. Sorry, your second team have been playing that higher cup, Devon Cup.
And
Then, so in a way, really, you should have been seconds, really.
No, I said that on the pyramid. That is,
Yeah,
but
that is
so,
correct.
for example, right, what I was getting at is 2 separate leagues, but that as it's down was first and seconds, for example, right? So the second team is playing, and the first team is supposed to be playing in Islington, for example, but that game's been called off because of the weather, right? The game's still going ahead in Plymouth. But what we have seen in the past is players dropped. You've only had a 16-man squad because 2 have become available from the first team and they've gone and taken a spot from the second team. And we've seen that happen. Or they're dual signed, one game's been called off, so they time it up. Or they paid half for one to go to their other game.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think as the season goes on for you, Ben, I think you'll see it more between you and Jared. I think, and I don't take this the wrong way, I think maybe because you're playing in a different place as well, you'll lose that.
Yeah.
A little bit, not much.
Yeah.
But it won't be like that as now it is. Now it'll move away.
I said this to Jared. I said I don't want to be like, hey, we're missing a few players. Give me 3 best players, and I don't like that either. But I think if you do it over a natural thing where I go, one of the players go, mate, he's really gonna help my team.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if we can swap a player and we can do that properly rather than just on the day going, I'm sure, give me your 3 best players. And he's like, what? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think, right, so wrapping it up with the questions now.
Yeah, go on.
So you got, before I start the questions, I want to touch on Tenable.
And what?
Tenable. Gav was on Tenable
Oh,
on
yeah,
TV.
I heard this, yeah.
And what I've also seen is Gav's quite a good singer. He loves it.
We can make him
So I'm not making him sing, but favourite artist.
What? Music artist?
Favourite music artist. You said you like the 50s and 60s and rock.
Yeah, I mean, look, it all depends really. Songwriting. I've got a few. I mean, obviously Johnny Cash is my favourite ever because I loved him and I loved the way he was a man in black. And I don't know if you notice it, but I wear black quite a lot as well. So, Bob Dylan's my favourite songwriter, favourite group. It's a difficult one, really. I haven't really got a favourite group.
Right, so if I said,
Queen, probably, or something like that, you know. But I love some of the older music.
so if I said,
Elvis,
like, Beatles or Stones,
Stanley. Neither. Not.
nothing yours wrong, Ron?
I don't want to be those Stones, no. Sorry.
No, that's just
I don't even Clash or
all right, Johnny Cash or Elvis.
Johnny Cash. But Elvis was a great singer, but Johnny Cash is my favourite.
Oh, yeah, I was just trying to get a bit more.
He is, yeah. I mean,
Depends on your music.
I love it.
Right, okay, so I have 3 questions. The best player you've managed, right? The best person or best player you played against, and the best player you played with who should have played higher. So we'll start off with the best player you've managed, and then we'll throw in the best player you refereed, right? So the best player you've managed.
Tough one. There's 3 really, and they're all on there. I like to say the 3.
Yeah, say the 3.
But
We've got to give it the
I'm not
10
gonna-
say the 3.
I mean, Lloyd's not in that, unfortunately. I mean, Chris Hill, Fizz, great player he was, mate. Played centre half or centre midfield or up front. So he's up there. Darren Richardson, when he was at his best, he was brilliant. Honestly, attacking midfielder. But the best player I've ever managed is Ray Spear, the original Ray Spear, because he was just so loyal and just a great player, goal scorer. Not a top level player, you know. I'm not talking Southwest or anything like that, but he was a good P&D player. Never used to play Sundays right though for some reason, but he always played Saturdays, and I managed him for a few years, and you know we still get on well. So he was probably the best one I've ever managed.
All right,
Managed. Obviously, I've had Glenn as well. I've managed Glenn, but only for about a season with Glenn. So I mean, he'd be up there as well, obviously. But yeah,
best player that you played with.
played with. Cool. Played with. That's
I'll do this. He's thinking now. I wonder what players are going
Wayne
to
Dragenza. Good player he was, Wayne. Yeah, player. And Elvis. Elvis is there. But Wayne, yeah, he
Best player you played against.
played against Shane Crack. And Sean Clouch was a good player as well. Real hard centre half. Good player, good in the air. Wesley, so much like good, but probably cracky. Yeah, good, brilliant player.
You said about referees. I'm not going to answer the best person you refereed.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite hard. You refereed a lot of kids. You don't really refereed.
Yeah.
But the one player, okay, in the same, I'll say about 10, 15 years in local football, you wish you could have signed, but you didn't. Or that player that you wanted. Anyone in the last, say, so you can go say 10 years in P&D. When you've been involved in P&D, there's 6 years. A local footballer that you would have in your team.
Elliot Cunningham. I've tried to sign him again this year. Good player. Best player ever for me?
Yeah. I bet best player in local football that should have played higher or professional.
Right. It's Tim, obviously, for me. I mean, I didn't actually manage with River with him for 1 year in West Sims, was Bradley Swiggs. Never ever stopped. Never chased everything down. Brilliant player, strong as an ox. 5-a-side, you couldn't even get him off the ball. But the best player I've ever seen in this city is Glenn Hobbs. He's the best, and I don't care what they say. Oh yeah, but he is the best. He was. I've never seen a bloke like him. How good he was on the ball, strength, free kick, everything he did it was just he could hit a ball from like so far out. Really? I seen him score a free kick once against me, semi-final of the club, and we were 2-0 up, and he scored a trick, and he scored this free kick, and I won't lie to you, it was so far out, and the goalkeeper never had a chance. It was so hard, it was so straight, you know. So he's a great player, and I've managed him as well. He's a good laugh to manage him, you know. But Bradley Swiggs is probably the best because of his longevity.
Well, you say there's two different eras there.
Yeah.
So in the new era and the old era.
But there's other players I might have mentioned as well. Like there's people like Roger Feiss. There's so many. Shane Crack, a brilliant player. Shane Crack, great player. there was a bloke called, what was he called? Ron Powell. He was from up north. He used to play for, I think it was at Mansfield. He'd come down here, play for Sutton, brilliant player. Tony Endy, you know, Sean Cledge. Wesley was a good player. Mark Sharp, you know, triplet, one of them, you know. Great players. There's some great players around here, you know. Steve Brownlow, believe it or not, I mean, he was a good player. Yeah. Good goal scorer. But, yeah, there's some good ones. There's been some great. Lloyd's can be, he's a good player on his day, you know. And some of the players that are playing nowadays, there's some brilliant players around.
Well, sorry. Obviously, we've done players, and obviously I'll ask you for the league. Well, ask one because it's Plymouth related. South Devon Prem this year. It was over the 3 Plymouth.
That's a great question.
3 Plymouth reps.
I think Phoenix will win it.
So from Lakeside Phoenix, yeah.
Lakeside Phoenix.
Yeah. That has got a good side because they got
They
got Dan Langford playing from who's rapid. He really is a good player as well. But I think they'll win it at Canada, to be honest.
Do you reckon? I mean, still, some of the players inside, Steve Rogers.
Yeah,
and,
they got a great side.
yeah.
I mean, they're not going to move on. They've got to get the facilities to move on, haven't they?
I know. I think they've got it to go Devon.
Yeah.
Because they're
Of course, yeah.
I think they can go Devon, but they've got to get the lights fixed to go up again.
Yeah, they're good side.
But with the side they've got,
they'll
one side together.
They'll win it, and I think, you know. I mean, I don't think the South Devon is as strong as what people say it is. I mean, I've refereed in the lower leagues, and it's poor. And that's not being horrible. It's not brilliant. There's obviously a few stand-up teams, and you're gonna get that because there's so many divisions.
Yeah.
You know, so you can have a stand-up team.
Yeah.
So I think the P&D Premier will be more competitive this year because of the 3 or 4 sides that are in there that can.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Lakeside second team will be all right.
Yeah.
They'll give people a good day out on their day. I think they'll be up there as well. You know, I think if they can get the top 4, that'd be a good achievement.
Yeah.
But going to the South Devon end, I think Phoenix will win it. You know, I think they'll win it. Dare I say, I think they'll lose it again. Windmill's a good side.
Rudy Simpson's looking
I'm doing a bit of a disservice to Windmill as well. They're a good side as well. So I think they'll be up there.
Yeah.
They'll be there. And I think they'll have good cup runs. They're a good cup side.
Yeah.
Windmill. So they've got they're a good side as well. True Blues, obviously. I hope they get their act together and do well. I think they will. I think they'll be a good side. I think it'll be the Plymouth sides.
Yeah.
I think this is the Plymouth side.
I think it's the same Devon leagues in some ways, a little bit more disjointed than the P&D at the minute. It's very well run and very well structured.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But because we're willing to come in as P&D champs and they've gone into Div 2, in reality, you know, we'd like to have gone into 1 really. Do you know what I mean?
The way I look at it, Ben, mate, is I think Plymouth sides will win most of the divisions. So I think Phoenix will win Prep. I think Mangold will win. I think you'll win 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know about 3 or 4. I don't know what Drake in your league.
Drake in our league.
See, they'll be a good side as well.
Ivory seconds as well. Yeah.
See, you could call them from the side, really, couldn't you? Because they're on the verge. But I think you'll win it. Personally, that's not just because you sat there on do. I think Mangold would definitely win their league because they've got Wesley in charge, and I love Wesley, so he's a great manager.
Right. Okay. So what I'll do. You're liking the questions, and I see that. Right. The one final question. Right. And they always said you ask the questions, so you played with, etc. Your all-time 11. All-time 11. Your goalkeeper and striker. Tell us your formation.
I've got it. I could do it.
Because you can see him trying to not leave people out.
All-time 11 might be because there'll be a lot of people probably won't know a lot of the players. What you want to do is do your best 11 now. But you can't use a tech service player.
Yeah, but you can't use the teams that you've managed.
No, you just can't use a tech service player. So you can use any player that's playing.
I'll do all-time 11, I'll do best.
Yeah, go on.
And this isn't all-time 11 because they'll be the best team. They'll be the team that all of that. So I had Lee Robertson go. Right, so Lee, I've known Lee for years. Great
What formation are you playing?
4-3-3. 4-3-3.
Pause.
Yeah.
Go around.
4-3-3. So Lee Robertson go. But this isn't the best team.
No. It's your favourite.
Yeah,
your favourite team.
I'd have. So I'd have right back would be it's a really difficult one. Left back would be Mike Richards.
Yeah.
Tricky, good player. Centre halves would be Pete Parker, another old school player, brilliant player. Pete, his day, great player. Barry White, another singer. No, this is Barry White.
It's something he said.
Barry was
He
great.
mentioned the word Brian White's with the phone the other day, and I started using
Believe you me, you want to see
Yeah.
he's a lovely boss. Right back, difficult one that. Right back. Friendships, I'll put Darren Raven in there. Right. Centre midfield, that's good. Shane Crack, Toby. Ron Powell, and Chris Hill. And then up front, got to have Ray Spear, because I mentioned it. Glenn.
Yeah.
And Bradley Swings. That would be a side.
Right, where he said
Levi as well.
Yeah, where he's
Forgot about
the
Levi.
best players, he's only gone back and he's gone to the ones he's mentioned to Pevin to the 11. So I reckon the centre half actually play up front.
No, Chris Hill could play anywhere. Because Levi would be in there as well, because he was good.
Yeah.
He still is.
Right, yeah, it was a good
Now, so Levi would be.
you're old.
You can roll on, roll off. Oh, where's Wesley? I forgot Wesley.
You're in there.
Sorry, Revel. I'll have to put Chris Hill at right back and put Wesley in the field.
See, this is what it's like every morning for a manager anyway.
I forgot about Wesley. Wesley's brilliant, mate. Loved him.
Oh, you're talking 11 now.
No,
You can't
so it's not-
use any player attached to yourself.
Yeah, you can't use a tech service player. So basically, let's go for
Southwestern or Plymouth?
So we go anything up to Southwestern League. No, actually not Southwestern League.
Please don't take offence. I'll not mention you.
Yeah, let's go because obviously you're a P&D secretary. Let's go with anybody that's playing P&D Sundays or Saturdays. Now,
Remember the names.
well, yeah, if you're running out the centre half from so and so.
Goalkeeper?
Yeah,
Well, Holstead. I like that.
yeah.
I'll do like it. Right back. That's a difficult one. Let's go left back.
A lot of teams play front and back, so you go front.
No, I don't want to go.
Let's do the South fullbacks.
Yeah, I'll do. I've got to do left back. Now, I'm just trying to think. Who's the lad who plays for? So I don't know all the
That's
names.
right.
That's the problem. Who's the lad who plays for Phoenix at left back? What's it called? Player. What's it called?
Caldoyle?
Yeah.
Caldoyle, yeah.
Like him. He's good.
Yeah.
Good player. He is.
Yeah.
I like him. Right back. Oh, that's a good one. Right. Because I think he's a right back.
Yeah.
But he looks very forward. Jonesy. For who?
Yeah.
Danny Jones.
Yeah, Danny Jones.
He played right back against the Saturdays.
He's a right back, mate, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, centre halves. Right.
This is a tricky one.
It is. It is. Whew. At the moment. Taylor Owen. That's a good player, isn't he? Taylor. So he'd be in there. I'm not going to put Scarf in it because he's cut above the rest, I think, let's face it. Ooh. What's your centre half called? Well, I like him.
Captain Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah, I like him. That's good. Midfield, right? Okay. Midfield.
Where are you going? 4-3-3 again?
4-3-3. Midfield. Tyler Riggins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I love Tyler. Sean Thompson.
Yeah.
Great player. Fantastic player. Just trying to think. I'll just let me think. Who's that who plays for? Who's the one who plays for Paul in midfield? He's called
What, Louder?
Yeah, I like him as well. Good player. So him. So that's a prime.
Front three.
From frame, a little bit easier. That one for me. That would be Luke Forward. Yeah, Arbor Forward. What's he called? The one who plays for Phoenix. One of the brothers, the one that plays up front. Who's a good player. Oh, What's he called?
CJ. No,
Owen or CJ?
Owen Pinch.
Pinch, yeah. The one that scores all the goals, I think.
Yeah, Pinch. Yeah.
And then out and out forward would be. He's not playing for anybody, is he, Elliot? So I can't put Elliot in as a good player.
He's throw him in there. He's still attached to the area. If you think that's
I'll have Elliot in,
Yeah.
because he's just a strong man.
okay, so captain of your all-time 11.
Someone I say.
You started on the bench.
No, I haven't. I forgot about Wesley. We have a Wesley or Swixen.
All right, and the captain for your all-time or P&D local, whatever.
Your muscle.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying about Moyes? Yeah, is he's not just he's captain off the pitch as well, and he's with especially with the young lads now. You know,
Like group chat.
But if I could put tech surveys players in, James Williams going in there. Jimmy. Because he's just longevity. He's better now than he was 20 years ago.
I got one for him, so I'll answer it. One final question. One final
Sorry if
question.
I'm offended. I do apologise.
Your most, in your opinion, Plymouth's best referee
Ever?
now?
Now?
who's managing in the league now? Because
Referee.
what I'm saying is no refereeing leagues.
No, that's all right.
Some that have gone up and refereed.
Oh yeah, I mean
No,
Plymouth based referee.
now.
It's a difficult one for me, that one, because people will probably say, oh, it's going to say Ginger Lee.
He is good.
I mean, everyone always says he's going to be look at that, because I think my favourite referee is Eroy. I've got to admit, I like him.
Hey, have you ever seen your play?
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, what a better hit. Oh,
Player, mate.
Oh, yeah.
I was speaking to Billy on the bench on Sunday.
Oh, mate,
on
he can play
Wednesday.
football.
Yeah.
To play football, you know, and so they say, you never played it. Yes, he can. You know? But the best referee at the moment for me, I like Mark King, good ref. Not him. He's a good ref. I like Ross Wilcox, good ref. Smithy on his day is all right. You know, he's good referees. Martin Smith, I like Martin, good ref. But my fate, I think at the moment, the one that I like because you don't look around, gets on with it, is Birdie, Mark Bird. People might say, "Oh yeah," but
I don't think it's.
I get King and Bird, not because they look the same, but except for
Mark Bird's, yeah, he's
Birdie, Chisholm, Joel Gray.
yeah, that's it. I mean, it's sort of like he's an ex fireman. He's got that.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think.
But they're all good. I can't. I'm not sinking anybody out. I'm all like Robbie Aiken. So Robbie can be good. It's a good ref.
I think the reason why I asked you.
Rob Dickens is a good ref. Young boy coming through.
It's the
like him.
I'm trying to be on the spot for your last one.
Billy Fox is a good ref.
Sean Thompson's a good ref.
Yeah.
Qualified ref, but he filled in for us and up front. He was
Hey,
class.
it's the best ref. You're looking at him.
Yeah,
that's
he is.
you know, mate.
Yeah, you are pretty good, mate. That is a pretty good referee.
But they're all. I mean, look, they're all brilliant. They're all good. But going back to what you said about you, he's a good player. He's a very good player.
Yeah. Strong, fast.
There's been some good refs in the past. You know, I can't really. I'm not going to go back to them. No, Dave Avery could be good as well. Dave, you know, they've all played their part. I mean, they're all good. Everyone's going to have a bad game as well.
They've all got their own thing in their own right.
Mm.
You know what you're going to get with all the ref.
Yeah, Simon Man, you know, he was.
Yeah.
Simon's all right. I mean, but Smithy, I mean, he does manage the game well, where sometimes Lee Roberts won't. You know what I mean, Lee?
The wrong thing with Smithy is you're always guaranteed 110%.
Yeah. It's possible.
Sophie was good. Sophie
Yeah.
She didn't take any prisoners.
No.
Ian Teasdale's a good ref as well. I like Ian.
Yeah.
Right.
I know you don't like, but I like Ian. He's a good ref. He's a bit book happy sometimes, Ian, but he's good. He don't no nonsense. He won't.
No, just before we go through the whole referee direction.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
I just thought.
I missed you, Adam. Say, I love you, Al. You're on the group chat. Good night, love you. All right.
See, yeah, because before we send the 10 minutes, you're going through all the referees that you've got on your phone runs. Gav, it's been a laugh.
Yeah.
But what it is we've actually been through what football is, but not really that the well-being and how people can be affected with words and stuff.
I mean, that's what it's all
Down
about.
with football.
Yeah. I want to say one thing though, just before we start. This has been all tongue in cheek and a bit of a laugh. I hope I haven't offended anybody, and please, whatever I have said, please don't back anything on or what, you know. I'm not doing it for that. This is my opinion, my feelings, and that's just it. And it's nothing. I mean, I'll probably miss people out, and I don't mean to. I haven't got my book with me or anything. You know, if I had more time, I haven't ad-libbed any of this.
Yeah.
This has all been off the cuff today. If I have missed anybody out, I don't mean to offend anybody, but what a lot of it is mine.
I think that's
People say, "Oh yeah, but he's your mate," and stuff. There's nothing to do with that. It's honest opinions of what I'm. There's a lot of good players around now. Coming through.
That's the whole point of this is to show people have their opinions. It's just based off what they think of football. It's nothing to do with being personal or
running a team, man. You know, you always go back to the players you know and you respect and you love.
Yeah.
So that's why people say, "Oh yeah, but it's the old tennis." Yeah, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing in the boys that I had at Edways, really.
Yeah.
Bish, you played against Ball Point for him at the time.
Yeah.
Now he's come in because I've had him over the years as a player. Jimmy, Lloyd, Dan Richardson, people like that. All those sort of player, Charles, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm bringing some younger boys through as well.
Yeah.
Johnny Lilly's come back.
Yeah.
It's just these are boys that played years ago for me. I mean, that first game I had, the midfield, the age was 100 years old.
He was only played a 2-man midfield.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed it, and I hope people can understand a bit more about
He
it.
said 6 years as you've done with the secretary and all the P&D. Any words of wisdom for the people that taking over those spots?
You've got to be more consistent than me, I suppose. Be a bit more stronger than me. I've got to admit, it could be an easy touch sometimes. I think when you get that role like that, you start to think you're the big I am as well. You know, but you're not really. You're just the secretary of a league, which is good and it's nice, and you've got to have respect as well, of course. So no, I think it'd be run well. I'll carry on with the referees. I want to try and make go higher with that at some point. Doing the referees role, because I got a good. And I hope I haven't offended any of you. So, but no, I'll give anybody watch that.
Get 2 viewers, Gavin. Sorry.
Oh no,
Sorry.
no, but it's
You'll watch it 3 times.
yeah, but you know, yeah. What was the question again? I've gone.
Well, any words of wisdom you give?
Yeah, no,
just
be consistent. I mean, I'm still obviously I'm not as involved as I used to be. But yeah, it's a volunteer's role. People's got to realise that, and the people that they work bloody hard. Barry works hard. Dawn works hard. You work hard. You know, Paul Rumban. You know, they all work to their levels of their hardness and what they've got to do. And it's a volunteer's role. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, if they didn't do it, who would?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same as self-government. You know, I've got a few people in the committee there I've known now, like Phil and stuff, and who's chairman actually, and also the referees. Well, you know, and it's not easy. It's not easy, especially with social media nowadays. So, you know, please, just when you're going to put something on social media, have a little think before, because, you know, it could really upset somebody. It does upset people.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, massively thank you.
Cheers. Enjoyed that. Cheers, mate. Good questions as well.
Yeah. So thank you for tuning in and watching the second episode of the Keep Talking podcast series of here at the Clean Sheet. But it's a special, massive thank you to Millfields Trust who have agreed to sponsor and collab with us for this series. And if you are interested, any local legends and local people who want to talk about football, mental health and how they link together, please get in contact because you could be our next guest. And just a parting word, and we hope that any referees, players or managers were not harmed during this video. Thank you.